exuberant and enthusiastic ahead of tonight's game, no matter how much peril their side are in. The players from both sides have taken to the pitch. I think it's high time I handed you over to Tony, Alan and Liam McLeod.
Yeah, over 8 months between victories in the Premiership for Livingston. After beating Falkirk in August, took them all the way through to last weekend, and that victory at St Mirren that has given them a tiny, remote chance that they can still preserve top-flight status. They need to win this one and apply the pressure to Kilmarnock, who host Dundee United tomorrow. And then we'll wait and see what happens in the final 3 match days. But one thing's for sure, if Aberdeen emerge victorious this evening, they will be all but safe themselves, and they will plunge Livingston to an almost certain return to the Championship after one season back at the top table. One change from both managers tonight from their respective victories. Last week for Livy, as I say, it was at St Mirren. Montagno in for Fatty, so it's Prior in goal, Wilson, Cabangolo and McGowan at the back, Finlayson, Silla, Arfield, Montagno, with that front three of Smith and May, former Don striker, either side of Joel Newbley, who returned to the club just a couple of months back. On the bench for Livy, Hamilton, Kerr, Fatty, Pittman, Muirhead, Mackay, Danzo, Tate and Zimmerman. Aberdeen, it's Geiger in for Cameron, and their only change from last week's victory over Killie. So Mitov in goal, Milne, Morrison and Malloy at the back, Jensen, Aremu, who got the decisive goal in the opening minute last week, alongside Geiger, Frame on the left, Armstrong just behind Olasanya and Nisbet, Brotveit, Shinney, Canuster, Milanovic, Palaversa, Cameron, Lazetic, Bomono and Keskinen make up the visitors' bench, and it is the visitors who kick off. Callum Scott's first whistle. Aberdeen all in navy blue with gold. They are North Sea kit, as they call it. Livingston in their yellow with the black across the chest, and I will keep you up to date with what's happening in the Championship on its final night tonight. We've got Brian at Capello, and there's live television coverage of the game at Starks Park between Raith Rovers and Ross County, so you can stick that on if you want to listen to this alongside that on the BBC Scotland TV channel. Here on BBC Radio Scotland's Livingston on the ball with the skipper Ryan McGowan, rolls it back to Wilson. Those two were mainstays in their immediate return to the top flight just under a year ago now, and I couldn't quite believe it'd been a year since those incredible scenes in Dingwall as they eliminated Ross County. As Silla picks up and turns it out to that right hand side for Finlayson, and picked up by Silla again right of the centre circle in the Aberdeen half, rolls it back along the deck to Wilson, and then out to this left hand side for the experienced Ryan McGowan. Now it's with Montagno, who slips it forward looking for Newbley, well read by Afiz Aremu, and then Jack Milne has the ball on the near side, but there's an offside on the far side in front of the Aberdeen supporters, who despite the Friday evening kick-off time have come here in very good numbers again, over on the far side into the far corner over on the left, all the way through the stand over there. Here at the back of the main stand, we're just to the right of the halfway line, and it's a long ball by Jensen, comes off the head of McGowan, cushion header though from Nisbet. Now it's Geiger out to the left side for Mitchell Frame, who's found himself back in the team after the knock sustained by Emmanuel Jamfi ahead of that game against Kilmarnock last week. It's picked up here by Liam Morrison, who Tony has looked a lot more assured in the last few games for Aberdeen after a difficult start.
Yeah, I think so, and that's, you know, testament to the two clean sheets. But I think that the pattern of game's developing. An interesting tussle, I think, tonight will be McCown's playing the left side of that back three, and I think I watched Aberdeen recently against Hibs. The Hibs were a back three, and they very much for turning it down the sides on the side of Olasanya, and I think that will be a tactic. I've already seen that ball from Jack Milne, and I think that's something they'll play on with the Livingston back three.
Well, Aberdeen winning back-to-back games for the first time since December, having secured 2 wins on the bounce at home as well for the first time this season, which is pretty remarkable given the record of Pittodrie is generally pretty good and strong, as Aremu finds Geiger left of the centre circle. Aberdeen attacking for the first time, out to the left for Frame. Frame now level with the penalty spot, plays it off Finlayson, and out for a Don's throw-in about level with the Livingston 6-yard line over on the far side. The Aberdeen left, and Alan Preston.
I like Frame. I've always liked Frame. He's a good player. He reminds me, you remember him, Liam? Scott Morrison that used to play for the Dons.
Yeah.
It reminds me of him.
Dunfermline as well,
yeah,
isn't it?
Left back, got forward.
Great cross of the ball, wasn't it?
Very good. Two good left foots, both of them.
Throw in then for Frame to take. One of Morrison's successors for Aberdeen. It comes into the box, it's cleared by May as Remu chests it out to Geiger, who waited for the ball to reach him and it never made it there. Livingston have it back with Lewis Smith, who's been in a rich vein of form recently, and in front of goal. Arfield out to Smith on the far side. Malloy's there covering and clears into the Livy half, where it was picked up there by Cabangolo and then slipped to McGowan, left of the centre circle for May with a dummy, but Milne read it. Now it's forward to Nisbet, now Armstrong. Forward to Toyosi Olasanya on this near side. Holds it up, turns back facing his own goal. Jinks away from a couple of challenges, including from McGowan, and rolls it back into his own half for Milne, who squares it for Morrison. And forward to Aremu. Geiger with the dummy this time. Milne manages to get the slightest touch ahead of Montano, but he's put it out for a Livy throw-in on this near side. If you're the Livingston manager, Tony, are you still believing, 9 points adrift with 4 games to go, that this mission is still salvageable?
I think you've got to, and that has to, if it doesn't come for you, that has to permeate down to your players. If you don't believe in it, they're not going to believe in it. So yeah, I think they're coming into this game thinking, listen, it's win or bust, and they'll do all they can to do that.
It's back here with Prior, who clears first time along with the left foot up to the halfway line. Newbley misjudged his jump. Milne wins it. It's helped into the Livingston half where Scott Arfield's onto it, and then out to Newbley on this near side. Switches the play to the right for Cabangolo. Side foot ball forward with the right foot up to Smith on the halfway lines, facing away from the Aberdeen goal, and he's forced to go all the way back to Prior. A little touch first time from the Livy goalkeeper out to this left hand side for McGowan. We played almost 5 goalless minutes at Amon Vale. Newbley back into his own half for Sela, who's another who's been pretty good in recent times. As Wilson clips it forward, Newbley flicks on. Montano almost got onto it, but it breaks to Newbley. Wide left for May, and then back down the line for Sela. Up against Geiger, forward to Newbley. The challenge comes from Milne. Newbley still has it. Back to Sela. Now facing the halfway line as he goes back towards his own half and finds McGowan. Under pressure from Nisbet, slips it in field to Wilson, who chips it forward looking for Newbley. Bounces off his chest, falls for Aremu, sliding in here on this near side as Sela to put it out for an Aberdeen throw-in. It's been a pretty scrappy start to proceedings, Alan.
It has been so far. I'm just going to ask Tony, was Sela at Dundee with you?
Yeah, I brought Mo to Dundee.
I liked him. I thought
good player.
Yeah.
He knows his role. That's the most important thing when you're playing in that system that he's playing in. He's the one that will sit and protect him back, break up play, and he's brilliant at it. He's really good at breaking up the play and getting his team going the other way.
Vitov clears despite Lewis Smith closing him down into the Livy half. It's Montano forward, Sela flicks on, but only to the benefit of Armstrong, whose pass eventually finds Frame, but that was nowhere near being the intended target. He's not complaining now. As Frame finds Geiger, and out to that left side for Frame again. Geiger continues his run ahead of him. Frame instead in field to Olasanya, then back to Geiger on the left and back to Aremu midway inside Livy territory. Shift it to the right for Milne and out to this touchline for Jensen. He goes back in field to Aremu and then to Jensen on this near side. And it comes towards Geiger, well read by Lewis Smith. Livingston win it back, but only briefly, because Geiger's back onto it for Aberdeen. It's Milne. And back in field right of the centre circle for Geiger, into his own half for Malloy. There's a couple of really good performances in those clean sheet victories over Hibernian and Kelly in the course of the last 2 match days in the Premiership that have done so much to alleviate the spectre of 11th spot at Pittodrie, because it was looking extremely bleak for them off the back of that defeat at Ibrox, which came early in the Robinson tenure. Malloy picks up long ball from him. Olasanya's giving chase, he won't give it up, he's onto it, left hand side of the box, he tries to pull it across. Prior holds on, he'd Nisbet and Jensen waiting. Nisbet had done what he had to do by making his way to the 6-yard line. Livy clear, and now Christian Montano's driving up the left hand touchline deep into the Aberdeen half. It's played to Newbley, he's got it down to the byline, being chaperoned on this near side by Morrison. Newbley, the big striker, holding him off, but his ball forwards blocked by Morrison, And Aberdeen have it back now with Dennis Geiger. He's hit it early and long for Olusanya. Is he off or on? He's on at the moment. Olusanya in on goal. Chance for the opening goal. And my goodness me. He'll be hoping that this is offside. The flag's gone up. I know it's not even gone behind the byline. Went out for a throw. He's one-on-one with the keeper, the right angle of the box, and honestly, it's one of the worst finishes I've ever seen in my life.
That's the right angle of the 6-yard box, not the 18-yard. He's 6 yards out on the angle, and he's hit it out for a throw-in.
Yeah, he's made a complete hash of the finish, but you can see that's a tactic. We're 7 or 8 minutes into the game, and that's 3 times already Aberdeen are playing that ball in behind, down the channel about the centre backs, and he gets in there and he should do better, but he was in previously on the left channel when he puts the ball across the box, and I think that's something that definitely it's a tactic from Stephen Robinson.
With McGowan and Wilson, especially they two, Cobb-and-Golo can shift, but the other two have been brilliant professionals, but they're coming to the tail end of their careers, and it doesn't need to go early, Tony.
I've not seen a lot of Livingston biscuits, but is it always Wilson plays as a central one and
yes.
McGowan on the left?
They feel he's a better passer of the ball, and McGowan slightly quicker as well.
Yeah, I think everyone's still stunned at Olusanya there, but anyway, the offside flag has spared his embarrassment slightly as Wilson picks up, because if he's onside and that happens and Livingston win the game 1-0, my goodness, he wouldn't be forgetting about it in a hurry. I'm sure his teammates won't be slow to remind him as Livingston come forward. A ball from Ryan McGowan trying to get Smith in behind, comes all the way through to Mitov, who holds on. It's Livy 0, Aberdeen 0. We've played 9 minutes.
I think Aberdeen have settled all right. A lot of touches of the ball. You can see, as Tony's described, what they're trying to do, try to hit down the sides of the centre halves if they can.
I think there's a good dynamic in the middle of the pitch as well. I was surprised, I must say, Lyle Cameron being left out, but Dennis Geiger's a good player. He's a very good player, and they've got that kind of, that way they're setting up with the 2 and the 1, with Stuart Armstrong getting in touch with the 2 strikers, so it'll be interesting to see how that develops.
There's apparently an option for the club to make the Geiger signing a full-time permanent one in the summer. However, I read something during the week saying he's on something in the region of £30,000-40,000 a week at Hoffenheim.
He's a big hitter, at Hoffenheim. He's a big hitter.
But saying if he was at Celtic or Rangers, he'd be their top earner, just about.
Yeah.
Well, there's no chance that's happening then.
No, exactly. Unless they can negotiate another loan. Anyway, it's out to play for a throw-in on this near side for Livy, just inside their own half on this left-hand side between the 2 dugouts. Down below us. Remarkably, Aberdeen scored 3 goals at Dens Park in a 3-1 victory in December. They've only scored twice on the road since. Bilalovic at Celtic Park, Geiger at Ibrox. That was December, those 3 goals went in. 2 since then. It's incredible. And they're heading right now, as it stands, for a club record low away goals figure by the end of the season, unless they can sort it out in this game, and they go to Dens again. They've got a pretty good record anyway. Livingston have the ball up the pitch here, and it's level with the Aberdeen 18-yard line, and Christian Montagno's drying the ball down. There's quite a lot of rain in the West Lothian area over the course of the day.
This is an opportunity for Livingston. Stephen Robinson said before the game that their height advantage is quite apparent here, and if it goes into the right area, you know, they will pose a threat to set plays, and the ball's coming into the box.
He's taking it short, but Arfield's got the cross in. It's headed away by Malloy. Comes back out to this near side. Picked up by Montagno, takes a touch, swings a brilliant ball in, and the header off the defender and over the bar. And Livingston have a corner. Really good whipped in ball with the left foot by Montagno wide in this left-hand side.
That's a great ball in. I think Cobb-and-Golo is the one that heads it off the Aberdeen defender and away for a corner. It's a wonderful ball in from Montagno, second time around. Good defending, balls away at corner, but as Tony said, look at the size of Livingston. Wilson, McGowan, Cobb-and-Golo, Montagno, Newbley right on the keeper. Big side.
It's the land of the giants in there, isn't it?
Silla's at the edge of the box.
And something tells me Aberdeen won't be beaten as easily in height as this next season, once Stephen Robinson's in a transfer window. You know how he likes to build his teams, but right now they've got a job to do here, and Stevie May's going to take the game's first corner. Right footer, outswinger in front of the Aberdeen support. He's taking it short to Smith instead, who's now driving towards the byline. Little chip ball backs headed behind there by Aremu at the expense of a second Livingston corner here. Livy 0, Aberdeen 0, 12 and a half on the clock.
Yeah, it was good play, one from the training ground. I just wonder if they can get Montagno on it at the edge of the box here. There's no one there. I think if all the Livingston players go in, Montagno's on it and acres of space.
There's real mismatches in the box here. I'm looking at Jensen picking up Wilson amongst others there. It's put into the right area. There it is.
And it comes, it's flicked
First
towards
contact,
goal. It
Livingston.
drops straight to Malloy. He's able to dig it out for a Livingston throw-in on this near side. They've not only been beaten in height from set plays, Aberdeen, they've been dreadful at defending them this season. As Scott Arfield will leave the throw-in for Montagno on this near side, level with the edge of the D of the Aberdeen box. Montagno with a bit of a long run up this time. The wall in front of the main stand allows him to do that at that point of the pitch. It's a bit closer to the stand. In from Montagno to the left angle of the 6-yard box. It bounces all the way through to Malloy, who heads clear. Olasanya takes a touch and then hoofs it up into the air. More height than distance in that though. Cabangolo heads it back along towards the 18-yard line where Malloy heads it clear. It stays goalless as Arfield recycles it to McGowan in the centre circle. Finlayson out to Smith on the far side. And then back to Ryan McGowan in the centre circle. It's a long pinged right foot raker out to Montagno. Controls up against Jensen. He has it here, Montagno. Jensen trying to get the tackle in. He's managed to get something on it. Montagno standing his ground. Aremu trying to help out, and eventually Aremu deals with it and clears it. That's a nice little touch by Kevin Nisbet. Olasanya's made a run ahead of him. He's looking for him. It's too much on it, and Prior read it well. Came out from his box, and it's a nodded calm header to McGowan on this left-hand side, where Stevie May knocks it down the line with the right foot. It finds touch and out for an Aberdeen throw. And Alan saying earlier that Aberdeen had settled okay. Livingston have enjoyed the last few minutes though. It stays 0-0 almost on 15. Montagno takes the throw in, but he was too quick for the ref's liking. Callum Scott, who's in charge this evening. Grant Irvin and Gary Hilland on VAR duties.
Prior, the goalkeeper's done really well there, and if he could, that's obviously the tactic in him, but if his positioning's right, he'll be able to sweep up behind that back three there.
Montagno balls it back to McGowan, who goes back to Danny Wilson. Plays it short there, forward to Arfield, and now it's with Ryan McGowan. Forward to Newblake. Picks up in space, flicks it back, left to the centre circle. Sela finds Arfield. Shot given away though. And Aberdeen pick up with Frame wide on the left-hand side. Infield to Armstrong, back to Frame. Wide in the left, driving at the Livingston box. He's into it now. Little ball in, takes a deflection, but it favours Prior, and it stays. Livingston 0, Aberdeen 0. There has been a goal though in the Championship in one of the big games there, and Ross County have scored it. They're 1-0 up at Starks Park against Raith Rovers, and Kieran Phillips has scored the goal. So Raith Rovers 0, Ross County 1, and as it stands, and we're still in the infancy of the games, Airdrieonians would be relegated and Ross County would contest the playoffs. Well, there's a long old way to go. It's goalless in the other 4 matches in the Championship at Somerset, East End, Capello and at Firhill. That game at Capello, I know we've got Brian at right now, but I'm sure Aaron Taylor Sinclair and his players will get wind of that Ross County goal. They're still in control of their destiny, as Morton are. County not so much, but they are doing what they have to do. Raith 0, County 1. Long ball, Aberdeen. Mitov all the way through. It comes though to Prior, who gathers inside his box. 16 on the clock. 0-0 here in the first Premiership match of this weekend, and my goodness, what chapters will be written over the course of the next 3 or 4 days. Kilmarnock, Dundee United, Dundee St Mirren, Falkirk, Motherwell to come tomorrow. Sport Sounds commentary games at Rugby Park. Sunday, Hibs Celtic midday. Monday, Hearts Rangers 5:30. The top end of the table as Jack Milne picks up for Aberdeen.
We'll need to record the chase Monday.
Yes, I think you'll probably be a little bit preoccupied with something else. But I mean, the carrots there for Hearts, particularly if their neighbours do them a favour on Sunday, and then Hearts go and beat Rangers. You could be looking at a situation where Hearts have the title wrapped up before they go to Celtic Park on the last day, as Geiger wins a free kick over on the far side.
Yeah, no, you're right. That could happen, and to question the professionalism of Hibernian players, I think, is frightening, to be honest. You know, Tony will know himself, you're a professional football player. You want to win every single game that you're out on that field, regardless of your rivals. And
the thing is, Hibs have a pretty good record against Celtic this season, but in particular Easter Road down the years. Geiger's free kick, he's won, so about midway inside the Livingston half and 10 yards from the far side touchline. And Callum Scott's being a fusspot and has ordered the ball gets moved back 2 centimetres as Stuart Armstrong waits to flight this into the Livingston box. Big throng of players along the 18-yard line here. As Armstrong waits to take. And eventually referee Scott is happy. And we know the quality of Stuart Armstrong. We know what he can do from this kind of situation as he gets ready to wind this one up. The former Scotland international, into the box it comes, it's headed away by Silla, breaks to the edge of the area for Aremu, hoists it back into the box to the left hand side of it. Olasanya gets something onto it, and then Kabengolo struggling to deal with it. Eventually Silla gets hit half away, Morrison heads it back towards goal, Finlayson heads it clear, and then Montano aids his team's cause by getting it up towards the halfway line, where Frame's under pressure from May, but he gets it back to Mitov at the edge of his box, and he hammers it forward, first time with the right boot. 18.5 minutes on the clock in West Lothian, and it remains goalless.
Yeah, the game sort of settled down. It's an even contest now. Aberdeen started well, Livingston came back into it, had a good bit of pressure, long throw-ins, corners. Still just need some clear-cut chances in the game now.
McGowan out to Montano, and a lovely little back heel for May, level with the penalty spot, plays it off Milne, and out for a Livy throw-in, though both Milne and his manager think that should have gone the other way. Montano over this again. You can see Stephen Robinson, he's more animated when Livingston are in these positions, long throws, corners. You can see he's a little bit apprehensive.
I think you can see because they feel vulnerable, and they certainly look vulnerable any time the ball's going into the box. Just that height advantage that Livingston have got.
Montano winding it up, he's taking it short again to Arfield, back to Montano, low ball, first time in, Wilson gets a touch and Newbley touches it wide. Just look when Danny Wilson popped that across the 6-yard line, and there was going to be an opportunity for Livy there, couldn't take advantage of it. It's been a game of no real opportunities, out with the offside Olasanya one, which he won't want reminded of, and it stays Livy 0, Aberdeen 0, and we're almost 20 in. Tony or Alan?
Sorry, it looks like a tactical change. Nisbet's been called over. Just wonder what they're going to do. Maybe it's Nisbet sitting in the McGowan area now. Olasanya going to Kabengolo and try and get down the side there.
Mitov with a goal kick, right-footed. Forward it comes here. McGowan gets his head onto it on this left-hand side. May to touch onto the head of Milne. It's back to Montano, who slices it down the line. Morrison's there for the Dons, and he goes back to Mitov, who's sliced his clearance out for a Livingston throw-in just inside the Aberdeen half on this near side. It's this match, of course, in any match really, it's a little bit unfair, taking place the same week as PSG Bayern Munich in the French capital. We were absolutely treated to a real feast on Tuesday evening, and nothing's going to live up to that. But this one right now, Alan, it's difficult for both teams, isn't it?
Yeah, it is difficult. You know, there'll come a spell if it does stay 0-0. I think Marvin will have to throw the dice and really go for it and push men on, and you know, take it. Even if you're taking a centre half off, pushing another forward on. They need to win. It's as simple as that. Draws are no good, and they'll realise that now.
Livingston pick up with Smith over on the far side. Aberdeen felt Geiger was fouled over there. Livy got a throw in instead. The Dons win it back quickly. It's Kevin Nisbet smashes it a goal and blocked by McGowan. Silla's touch forward up to the halfway line will drop into comfortable possession for Jack Milne for the visitors. Up the right there for Jensen, back to Aremu, and then back into his own half for Milne, who slips it forward to Armstrong. And out to the left there for Malloy. Tony Docherty.
Yeah, I just think Aberdeen should be getting more control in the middle of the pitch, because they've got a numerical advantage in there. They've got 3 against the 2.
Yeah, they've got Jensen crossing into the Livy box, where it sails harmlessly out over on the far side, and eventually for a goal kick to Livy. Tony.
You see in Aremu, he's a spare player. They're 3 against 2 in there, and I know they've got that tactic they're going, but with them going forward so much, it makes the back line at Livingston go back the way, which means there's more space to play. And I think if they get the ball in that midfield area and exercise a wee bit more control, they'll get into better areas.
This is where Danny Wilson will try and drop this into Newbley and then get runners off them if he can.
Yeah,
or either that or he'll hit it to Montano, but normally he'll try and look for Newbley.
Well, he's knocked it out to the Finlayson. He does win the header. It's nodded into the centre circle. The referee's made to it.
Against Hearts, it was Newbley all day long. He just dropped it in. Hearts pressed the game, tried to stop them from getting the game started at the back, and he just dropped it in the whole time to Newbley.
And then move back to Milne on the halfway line. Exchanges passes with Geiger, back to Morrison. And think the Dons are quite keen to extend his loan for next season from Queen's Park Rangers. Such has been the improvement in his performances. He comes back to Milne, and then he goes back to Morrison, who picks up centre point of the Aberdeen defence. Plays it to Milne. It's a long ball looking for Olusanya into the right channel. McGowan heads clear, only as far as Nisbet. Gets it to Jensen. Now he slips it to Geiger. Geiger at the edge of the box, right footed ball, left hand side of the area. It comes to Frame, skips in field, shoots a goal and scores a fabulous effort. Brilliant goal. Mitchell Frame's first for the club as he hammers it into the bottom right corner. It's an outstanding goal from the young left back, and it's one which could go a long way to guaranteeing Aberdeen's unblemished top-flight history, and also pushes Livingston closer to the abyss. It is Livingston 0, Aberdeen 1.
That's kind of what I was talking about there tactically. They play, Jack Milne plays that long ball in behind. Livingston win first contact, comes into an area where they've got that advantage. Aberdeen, they pick up that second ball and work it in a good area, and it's brilliant play by young Mitchell Frame, all left-sided, but he cuts in on his right foot, and it's an unstoppable shot into the bottom corner, and it's good play. It's good play. It's played up and picked up second balls, and plays for young Mitchell. Good player, as Biscuits was saying earlier on, and he takes that really, really well in his stride.
He'll remember that for the rest of his days. His first senior goal, really good for him as well. But I've got to say, Armstrong's run to overlap him, to take the full back out of the play, allow Mitchell to come inside, and the right foot shot beating Prior into that bottom corner. Wonderful finish from the young man, and as I said, he will remember this day for the rest of his life. Yeah,
Aberdeen brought him in from Celtic last summer. He just wasn't getting a chance under Jimmy Tillane. It wasn't until he left that he was given that opportunity for his debut against Wraith Rovers in the Scottish Cup, and that will help him go from strength to strength. And Aberdeen have the lead here, and suddenly Livingston need to score 2 unanswered goals rather than the one, and that already makes it more difficult for them as Geiger chases down a ball out of defence, and Wilson panically puts it out for a throw-in to the Dons over on the far side. They lead 1-0 after 25 minutes to the visitors.
Yeah, and I think Stevie Robinson will want Aberdeen to press forward now on the front foot. You could see there Silla, he left Wilson short with that one, and Wilson had to just knock it out for a throw-in. But what about this crowd, Liam? The Aberdeen crowd, honestly, it never fails to amaze me. The turn-up in numbers has been a dreadful season for them, but they're still here. Friday night, long drive down to Edinburgh from Aberdeen, and they're turning up.
And I think they're really beginning to dominate the ball now, particularly in that middle of the pitch.
Jensen out wide right, the Livingston box for Geiger. Partick Thistle have gone in front against Queen's Park in the Championship, already guaranteed second spot, of course, of the Jags. They will face Arbroath or Dunfermline in the Premiership playoff semis, not next week but the one after. And we get a little break on Mark Wilson's team ahead of that. It remains goalless between Dunfermline and Arbroath, a point separating those two as they try and finish third, as Geiger slips it forward for Aberdeen to Nisbet at the edge of the Livy box. Now it's with Jensen driving in, but shows too much of it to Wilson. He just couldn't get under control, and Wilson clears only as far as Geiger. It's a lovely ball in, it's too high for Olusanya though, and it sails behind for the goal kick. Livy 0, Aberdeen 1. Let's go to Brian McLaughlin, who's watching the match at Capello between Morton and Airdrieonians. I mentioned earlier, Ross County leading Wraith Rovers and Kirkcaldy by a 1-0, scored by Kieran Phillips. It was nervy at Capello before kick-off. That scoreline, Brian, I would imagine will have everyone at the edge of their seats.
Absolutely, yeah, Liam. A chance here for Airdrie, but it's cleared off the line. But Morton have certainly had the best of the opportunities after 29 minutes. Muffet in particular has been outstanding. Great build-up play down the right-hand side. Cut the ball back to Shaw. His effort though saved by the goalkeeper. And then Muffet again in action. A deflected cross into the box. His header beat the goalkeeper back off the upright and then cleared. Morton have had the better of the chances. Airdrie with the possession though, still 0-0. And when that goal from Kirkcaldy came through, you could hear the silence from the Airdrie fans. 0-0.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's quite incredible. Airdrie right now, as it stands, are being relegated tonight. However, if they score, they stay up. And if they win that game and Ross County win the game, then Airdrieonians stay up, and Morton would be in trouble. But as it stands, County in the playoffs, Airdrie bottom, Morton far from out of it. Free kick Aberdeen meantime. Geiger was chopped down left-hand side of the box, and Armstrong's over it. It's a bit level with the 6-yard line, bends it into the back post. Prior comes, punches away. It's going to break Geiger's way here midway inside the Livingston half. He rolls it back to Frame in the centre circle. Long ball forward, looking for Malloy, headed away by Montagno. Cushion header from Aremu, finds Milne, who's high up the pitch here. Now to Jensen, wide right, level with the 18-yard line, wins the throw-in off Silla. It's Livy 0, Aberdeen 1, and we've played 28 minutes here at Amon Vale. Jensen over the throw-in on this near side. Another who it's been a pretty difficult season for. They might have Nicky Devlin back amongst things for the final 2 or 3 games. Aberdeen, he's been out recently, a couple of months with injuries. Jensen bowls the throw-in in. It's come off Silla's head. Jensen will accept the corner. Aberdeen's first of the evening. And it will be over on this right-hand side, the Aberdeen right, as they attack the goal to the right. But they've got a real control in proceedings now, don't they?
Aberdeen got a real grip of this game. A chance now, Stuart Armstrong's going to swing this one out. You wouldn't expect Livingston to lose this with the height that they've got in their team, but if you can get good movement and good delivery into the box, you just never know. 2 hands up, balls up in the air from Stuart Armstrong. Something's worked here.
Yeah. Down onto the quadrant it goes. Armstrong with the outswinger here. It's low to the edge of the box for Nisbet. Has to get it under control though. A little bit too much force on it maybe. Nisbet still on it. Rolls it back out to Armstrong. Gets onto the left side. Crosses into a deflection. Falls kindly for Olusanya. Rolls it back into midfield. Geiger's onto it. Had to retreat to get onto it though. Geiger exchanges passes with Aremu forward to Morrison, then to this near side. Frame finds Armstrong. Marvin Bartley out there gesticulating the edge of his technical area to his players. It's Geiger, chips it into the box, looking for Jensen. It's too close to Jerome Prior, who gathers, and it stays Livy 0, Aberdeen 1, just about knocking on the half-hour mark.
You see that corner, Stuart Armstrong takes it. Nisbet starts at the 6-yard box, peels out. The ball tail's probably just a bit too hard to hit first time. It's all Aberdeen just now.
Yeah, and you see the biggest influence in the match at the moment is Dennis Geiger. Good football, and he really is pulling the strings in that middle of the pitch. But you're right, a good corner there by Aberdeen. The block getting Nisbet in, and if he takes it on first time, he might get a shot at the target.
Libby have it with Montagno down the left side. Mix it forward towards Newbley, but Morrison's there for Aberdeen to mop up. Goes back to Mitov, who again slices it out for a throw into Livingston on this near side. It's a bit midway inside the Aberdeen half, but you'd fancy Christian Montagno still potentially aim for the box here.
It doesn't look the same goalie that was at St Johnstone, Liam.
He's a little bit nervy.
Yeah, at St Johnstone he was, fully confident. Playing in a team that was struggling as well, to be honest.
One thing I would say, and I think he's had a mistake in him this season where perhaps we haven't seen before. He pulled off an outrageously good save against Kilmarnock last week. He tipped, I think it was a Tishbola effort onto his own crossbar. And that was such a crucial win for Aberdeen last week as the throw-in from Montagno finds Newbley. Now it's out with Montagno again on the left, down the line for Silla, level with the Aberdeen penalty spot. Montagno in the overlap, gets away from one, couldn't get away from the second, who was Milne, who sees it behind for the goal kick. Livingston 0, Aberdeen 1. And the first of this weekend's Premiership games. Getting towards the end of the season, a fortnight of it left in the Championship tonight. Goalless at Somerset, East End Park and Capello. Partick Thistle lead Queen's Park by a 1-0, and it was Tony Watt who scored the goal for them. And crucially, Ross County 1-0 up at Starks Park against Wraith Rovers, giving themselves a survival chance. There's Montagno lofting it forward. Underneath it is Morrison for Aberdeen. Up to the halfway line, McGowan meets it, first time forward to May, gets it infield to Arfield, who couldn't find Newbley. Geiger picks up and finds Malloy behind him. Malloy now driving out to the left-hand side, pushes it low forward along the artificial surface for Dennis Geiger, slips it through looking for Armstrong, cut out well there by Cabangolo. Geiger was caught by Arfield though, free kick Aberdeen. It's a few yards from the far side touchline and level with the edge of the D of the Livy box.
Just too sharp, Geiger, for Arfield there. Gets there, Arfield gets there a bit late, takes him out, free kick, interesting place. Left hand side got to be whipped in here, but Geiger, you're right, what a good player he looks.
Yeah, he was one that really impressed me in that short period I was up there, and there just does look more in athleticism about this Aberdeen team than than Livingston, particularly in the middle of the pitch, and Geiger's definitely the one pulling the strings.
Armstrong will take it again. Right-footed, Prior comes, doesn't get anything onto it. Morrison helps it towards goal, and it's sliced behind, but there was a foul on Ryan McGowan, I think it was, at the back post there. So Livingston will get a free kick. The Lions trailing by a goal to nil as they face almost certain relegation. 9 points adrift to Kilmarnock ahead of this weekend's fixtures. If they were to win this, it would put the pressure on Killie before they host Dundee United tomorrow. You get that gap back to 6 with 3 to play, then suddenly you start wondering. But look, second best tonight to this rejuvenated Aberdeen side. It's Dennis Geiger picking up over on the left, midway inside the Livy half. Back to Aremu, who shifts it with the right foot low out to the left side for Armstrong. Ahead of him he's got Malloy up the pitch, looking for Olasanya. He's going to get there before he gets to the byline, pulls it across Nisbet with the dummy. Geiger takes the touch, shoots, and blocked by Silla. Geiger will keep it in play. Really looked like 2-0 there.
He should go high. I think if he goes high with that strike, he scores. Geiger
back to Aremu to try and keep the pressure on here. Armstrong trips over the ball though, and then Geiger fouls Arfield, and that will be a free kick to Livingston at the edge of their own box. As Geiger becomes embroiled with a whole host of Livingston players there. It will be a Livy free kick. Geiger's replaying that opportunity over in his mind there, and he's probably wishing he took the high road.
Well, that's it. Sorry, Tony, on you go.
That's good play again. Olasanya getting down the sides of the centre-backs and squaring one across the box, and good midfield support. But I think when it comes back to Geiger there, if he goes high, he scores.
Yeah, the defender's always going to go and slide in. You know, so he's going to go to ground to try and block it, as Silla does there. And a little dink, and it's 2-0. Long way back for Livingston if that's the case.
Danny Wilson over the free kick here for Livy then. Takes it short back to Prior. As I said, just the second time Aberdeen have scored an away goal in 2026. Geiger was in for their third of the calendar year there, having scored their first at Ibrox. And that 4-1 defeat as Prior picks up at the edge of his box and launches it forward with the left foot out to this near side. Comes off the head of Jensen, but it breaks to Smith. Out to Christian Montano, driving down the left deep into the Aberdeen half. Rolls it to Smith, he's inside the area at the byline, pulls it back across. No takers, new play, fresh air, big chance for Livingston, which they haven't taken. It stays 1-0 Aberdeen, who are away on a counter here, and Geiger, great run forward to Nisbet. He's got Armstrong inside him. It's Stuart Armstrong, and Prior saves with his boot. Chances at both ends, and after all that, it stays Livingston 0, Aberdeen 1.
That's brilliant play from Livingston. Smith down one end, Newbley with a complete fresh air. You can see he's got his hands on his head. He's absolutely disgusted with himself. What an opportunity for the equaliser, then up they go up the other end, Tony.
Yeah, quick break and real good play, good counter-attacking play by Aberdeen. And Stuart Armstrong, really you would expect him 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper to score there, and again he goes low. A similar thing. Biscuits, I think if he lifts that and he dinks the goalkeeper, it's 2-0.
Yeah. Prior's down early.
And that's Geiger and Armstrong both had opportunities in front of goal to make it 2-0. Newbley had that opportunity to make it 1-1. It is Milne for Aberdeen, out to Geiger on this near side. He goes back to Milne, he goes back to Mitov. And just before he left St Johnstone, he pulled off that wonderful penalty save. You might remember, to save St Johnstone the playoffs.
I was at the game at Mullable.
Theo Bayer's penalty.
Yeah.
It was one of the best saves from a penalty you'll see. Not just the actual save itself, but for everything that it meant to St Johnstone Football Club at the time. Eventually relegation came for them, but they have bounced back immediately as Jensen picks up on this near side. His touch takes it to Montano though, but his touch takes it to Nisbet. Now with Jensen, infield to Aremu, looking for Armstrong, too much on the pass forward though, and it breaks to Daniel Finlayson. Goes back to Silla, and then Wilson and May, and then out wide left here for Ryan McGowan under no pressure. Plays it short to May. Who had that spell working under Tony and Derek McInnes at Pittodrie, but he also left his mark on Tony and Derek's time at Pittodrie with that double in the Scottish Cup semis. And what a chance it was for those guys to win the cup double that season. Here come Livy though. Smith finds Newbley at the edge of the box, goes for goal, and That's a brilliant save, Mitov. That's going in from Newplay, top right corner. But the Bulgarian gets both hands to it. Fingertips take it over the bar. Livingston corner. It stays 1-0 Aberdeen. We played 37 and a half.
And we're just talking about Mitov there. It's a wonderful save, really good play. Smith to Newbley, gets the ball out his feet. You can see it, we're right behind it. That's going in the top corner. What a save from Mitov, diving to his left hand side.
He does still have it. He hasn't looked as confident as he normally is. Mitov, having made himself a club legend last May, but still capable of those spectacular saves. And May takes the corner into the box. Wilson's header down, blocked and cleared by Milne. McGowan heads back into the Aberdeen box and Milne heads away. And the offside flag goes up anyway. Livy 0, Aberdeen 1.
I think Smith coming in off that side for Livingston, anytime he gets on the ball they look dangerous, and that's how the chance comes for Newbley. So I think the more they get him on the ball inside that wee right pocket there in front of Malloy, they've got more chance of mounting attacks.
In the Championship it remains Partick Thistle 1, Queen's Park 0, and crucially Raith Rovers 0, Ross County 1. The game at Starks Park continues live on the BBC Scotland TV channel. Here on the radio, on Sportsound and BBC Radio Scotland, it's the Premiership and it's Livingston 0, Aberdeen 1 in the bottom 6. The Dons, as it stands, moving 11 clear of 11th place Kilmarnock. Down the right comes Nisbet, his low ball in field's cut out by Wilson and cleared. Flicked on by Aremu for Armstrong as Aberdeen pick up again. Wide right Jensen, midway inside the Livingston half. Rolls it back to Aremu, pokes it out to Milne, and he slips it back into his own half for Morrison. To the left of the centre circle for Gavin Malloy. Then out to Geiger. And then back to Morrison as Aberdeen go back to front here. Milne to Jensen, under the lights here in West Lothian. It is with Aremu, dead centre of the park, just outside the centre circle, rolls it low out to the left for Malloy, goes long with the left foot. Olisanya chases, headed away by Cabangolo. Finlayson gets there ahead of the goal scorer, Frame. And it's cleared by Livy again. Kept in play well there by Malloy. Finds Geiger, who finds Aremu, flicks it out to the left for Frame. Now Armstrong couldn't get the ball past Wilson, but it bounces off the Livingston defender and behind for another Aberdeen corner.
Really good play from Aberdeen down that left hand side. 4 or 5 players, Geiger involved again. Mitchell frames there. Armstrong eventually wins the corner.
Really intelligent with Stuart Armstrong. He makes the runs, the wee half space runs down the side, and it just stretches that back three and results in a corner.
In swinger from Armstrong, this time in the Aberdeen left as they attack the goal to the right. Looking for a second here. In from Armstrong towards the back post. Prior punches away with the right fist. It's a little bonus as well because it's dropped to Newbley. He's facing his own goal here, not far outside his box, but he shrugs off Frame and bends it out wide right into the path of Smith, who spins away from Aremu, goes down. Has he got the free kick? No, says Callum Scott. And Aberdeen have it with Aremu, slips it in field here for Geiger, who rolls it out wide left for Armstrong, skips away from Smith, driving forward towards the Livingston box. Now with Frame. Frame forced back the way to Malloy. Midway inside Livy territory, finds Geiger, then to Malloy again wide in the left. Dink ball, looking for Nisbet, he's found him. Nisbet controls, facing away from goal at the left angle of the 6-yard box. Back out wide it goes to Frame. Rolls it back to Malloy, gets the cross in, headed away by Cabangolo. Aremu picks it up and finds Geiger at close quarters and rolls it to his left from Malloy. Back in field to Dennis Geiger.
I think Aberdeen look like they're enjoying it. They're wanting the ball, they're enjoying the game.
It's been a long time since they've enjoyed playing a game of football.
But they're all passing and moving, you can see them, there's always an option for them.
Yeah, sorry, Frame crosses from the left, but Prior's onto it. Tony.
I think the important, as you say there, about they're picking up everything here, everything that's coming back out again. They're picking up that second ball and mounting attacks, and it does look as if there is enjoyment. There's loads of movement, and they look as if the second goal's coming.
42 just about on the clock. 1-0 Aberdeen. Did it feel when you were there, Tony, that it was quite downbeat across the club?
I thought, obviously, when you're in a run, the results that they were having at the time, yeah, it was. But it's it's amazing what wins do. It breeds confidence throughout the team, and you can see that from their 2 wins that they've had recently. That there is confidence going through the team at the moment.
Prior plays it short to Cabangolo, and then Over to the right hand side, Finlayson forward to Newbley, little flick in field for Finlayson, good challenging by Malloy. As I said, he's been playing well, Gavin Malloy. An excellent start to his Aberdeen career under Tilleen at the start of last season, obviously during that incredible run. As it comes out to Jensen wide on the right, Montano shepherding it behind, goal kick Livingston. Jensen's got his head in his hands looking at the linesman, thinking that should have been a corner, might well have had a point. Anyway, it stays Livingston 0, Aberdeen 1, almost on 43. There's going to be a minimum of 1 minute added as it stands at the end of this first half. Livingston being pushed closer to the trapdoor. A third top flight relegation in their still relatively short history. May out to Smith on the far side, back to May, drives it forward for Newbley. The challenge comes from Morrison, and he's got the free kick out of that as Newbley, right of the centre circle in the Aberdeen half, as Livy try and find an equaliser before the break. The champions St Johnstone have gone 1-0 up, and it's a Fotheringham goal that has them ahead at Somerset against Ayr United, as the first half of those final championship games of the season draw to a close.
Just think Stevie May's coming too deep now. He's receiving the ball in deeper areas. They need him further up the pitch to be a supporting role to Newbley. I think Smith's doing it off one side. I think Stevie May has to do it the other side and stop coming beyond the centre midfielders to get on the ball.
You just wonder with that 1 minute to go then, and at half time what Marvin does, because it's at the moment they're getting outplayed and they're going down with, for a couple of chances. Newbley's had a fresh air, then he's had the shot from Mitov, but Aberdeen should be goals ahead.
Yeah, they've controlled this first half.
Yeah, Livy can't be relegated tonight, but they'd be as good as down if they lose this game. Prior gets there ahead of Olasanya, launches it up towards the halfway line. Milne gets his head onto it, nods it forward down the right side touchline. Sila gets there first though, clears for Livy up to the halfway line there. There's goalless at Capello at half time. Airdrie Onans and Morton. As it stands, Airdrie are going down because County are 1-0 up at Wraith Rovers. Here come Livy driving for a lovely ball. Montagna to the right for Smith, pulls it back across, blocked well by Morrison and then cleared by Malloy. Livy have a man down, they're claiming for a penalty there. I think it was Montagno went down right side of the box as we go into that solitary minute of stoppage time. But clearly they'll be looking back at that one as the VAR officials check to see if that was a penalty. It looked from here like Malloy got enough of the ball, but we're not very well placed.
Yeah, we're about 100 yards away, but Montagno's all right. He didn't claim, although he goes down. You can normally tell the reaction of the player.
Yeah, and I do think Malloy get a bit of the ball there.
I thought he did, yeah. Livy have it over on that far side. It's back with Cabangolo though. The focal point of the defence here, Danny Wilson right in the middle of the back three at walking pace up towards the edge of the centre circle. Livy trying to force something before the break. They've only got 20 seconds left to do so, and they've given it away. Geiger finds Armstrong, nice little turns, classic Armstrong, rolls it to Olasanya, wide on this right side. Toyosi Olasanya. Can Aberdeen get one chance before the break? I make it, we played the stoppage time, but is there time to take a corner for Aberdeen? No, there isn't. It is the half-time whistle here at Almond Vale, and Livingston staring relegation in the face, albeit in fairness they've been staring relegation in the face all season. Just the 2 victories, but so far they've been unable to follow up that fine win in Paisley last Saturday. They trailed to Mitchell Frame's goal, his first senior goal, his first for Aberdeen quite clearly, which came in 24 minutes. Lovely play down the left into space, left side of the box, chopped in field and fired it home into the right corner of the net to give Aberdeen a deserved lead. They've had other opportunities. Dennis Geiger had a huge chance, as did Stuart Armstrong, with the goal gaping in front of him. They could take neither. And Livy, well, they haven't really caused too many problems for Aberdeen, but Joel Newbley's wonderful hit from just outside the box was aiming for the top right corner. Mitov at full stretch tipped it over. Another chance for Newbley closer to goal, which he could only swipe at fresh air with. But at half time here, Livingston have got 45 minutes to try and sort this out, or they could be relegated this weekend, because at half time in West Lothian it is Livingston 0, Aberdeen 1.
Scottish football lives here.
This is Sports Sound.
That is a beautiful finish!
From BBC Radio Scotland. This Saturday show with Amy Irons and Stephen Mill.
Would you, if you had the chance, be on the next lunar mission though, Al?
Absolutely. If Katy Perry can go to space, I can go to space.
That didn't go well for her though. That was bad PR for her.
Kim, what do you think then? Have you been excited by the Artemis 2 mission? I'm not sure if your faces tell me that you have been.
You shouldn't be up there.
You should be on the ground.
Aye,
2 feet on the ground.
That's ridiculous. Get down. I'm one of these people as well that see when someone gets hurt from like extreme sports.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's your own fault.
So listen to This Saturday show tomorrow at 9 a.m. on BBC Radio Scotland and Sounds.
So here at Livingston, it's Livingston 0, Aberdeen 1, half times in the Championship. Ayr United 0, St Johnstone 1, Dunfermline 0, Arbroath 0, Partick Thistle 1, Queen's Park 0, Raith Rovers 0, Ross County 1, and at Capello, Brian McLaughlin, half-time score is...
Yeah, you wouldn't believe what I'm watching now. Effie Ambrose, a guest here this evening, doing somersaults on the pitch, and it could be the Morton fans that will be doing somersaults tonight if the scoreline stay the same. It is 0-0 here, and they've certainly dominated proceedings. Airdrieonians have been the most nervous of the two teams this evening. Morton started the game really well, some good chances early on. Muffet has been spectacular tonight, down the right hand side, cut the ball back for Shoy, looked certain to score, but delayed his effort and the defence got back to clear the danger. And then Curtis Main shot from distance, gathered at the second attempt by the Airdrieonians goalkeeper. And then another wonderful chance for the home side, a deflected cross into the box. Muffet all alone at the back post. His header beat the goalkeeper Harry Stone, but came back off the post and then cleared away. For Airdrie, a couple of half chances really. McCradden with a shot that was easily saved by the goalkeeper, and then there was a scramble in the box from a long throw, and it was Henderson with the shot, but it was easily turned away by the home defence. As things stand, David, Airdrieonians now sit bottom of the table on 36 points. Ross County on 37, Greenock Morton on 38, but one goal from Airdrie would be enough to swing them from 10th to 8th and again relegate Ross County. However, if Ross County continue to score, and indeed another couple of goals, it may well be enough to see them leapfrog Morton, and it would be Morton in bottom spot there with Ross County into the playoff position. It really is going to go to the wire, this one, but half time here at Capita.
Thanks very much, Brian McLaughlin in Greenock there, where it's Morton 0, Airdrie 0. That's an interesting one, chaps. Let's talk about the situation at the bottom of the Championship, if you will. If you are the Morton manager, gents, what do you do in the second half? Do you just try and keep it tight, or do you try and get the goal just to kill it off? Obviously Airdrie have to go for it, Tony.
Well, that's the thing, Airdrie have to go for it, but I don't think you can ever really predict what the game's. If you've got to go out and try and win the game as best you can, I don't think you can sit back, because then you invite a bit of pressure onto you. So, but listen, something will give in this second half. It won't stay the way it is now, I'm predicting that.
And Ross County, do they go gung-ho, Alan Preston, while you're having a slug of tea out your flask?
No, I don't.
Or do they just stay happy enough just to stay 1-0?
No, I think they need to get a second. We always say the same in a game of football. You need to try and get the second goal if you can. Raith Rovers are still a part to play. I think there's a lot of twists and turns. 45 minutes to go, really exciting stuff. Ross County are out it just now, but as Brian said, a goal for Airdrie and they're right back in it again. It's incredible stuff, it really is. It's a long way to go, and we've seen we are in Taylor Sinclair. He throws caution to the wind. Last week they were 1-0 down at half time, won the game 2-1. He'll do it again tonight if he has to. He'll throw men on. Then it's up to Ian Murray at Morton, because they could be in a bit of a predicament as well. So Ross County are the ones who are ahead at the moment, but still the ones that it's not in their hands.
Yes, it's excruciating, that must be, for fans of all three sides this evening, Morton, Ross County and Airdrie. Brian McLaughlin will keep us up to date with goings on at Capello, and during the second half Liam will update you on all the scores in the Championship. It looks though, Alan, as if Ross County, if they do finish in that playoff place, it'll be Alloa or Queen of the South in the playoffs.
Yeah, it'll be a tough games, whoever they are. I think since we've had the playoffs, David, coming into Scottish football, it's been brilliant. It really has. I would just like to see the team at the bottom of League 2 drop out, and the winners of either the Lowland or the Highland League to come in, because I don't think that that's right. There is no relegation from the bottom division, but that's just the way it is. We've not got everything perfect at the moment, but I certainly think the way the playoffs are going, it's just really good. You know, when you look at Dunfermline, Arbroath, you look at these games. Tomorrow it's East Kilbride Spartans, whatever it is. It's all these clubs, Inverness, Stenhousemuir, all going for the titles tomorrow. It's riveting stuff, because normally Celtic have won the Premier League. It's already done by now. It's not at this moment in time.
Yeah, maybe we'll have that Highland Derby in the Championship next season.
Yeah, that's what they would like, I suppose. I'll tell you what, Roy McGregor would bite your hand off right now for that, just to make sure his club's in it.
Yeah, and Arbroath and Dunfermline, that's goalless at the moment, so Arbroath on course to finish third, just ahead of Dunfermline, who of course have that Scottish Cup final to look forward to. A busy end of the season for them, Tony.
Yeah, it certainly is, and they've got themselves in a brilliant position. You know, that obviously a cup final to look forward to, and listen, that acts as a motivator. You know, every Dunfermline player will want to be involved in that cup final, so it gives that added carrot. You know, when you're getting into this playoff now, that there's a real motivation to be, you know, to finish off a season really strong, opportunity to get promoted, which is your ambition at the start of the season, and to be in a cup final already, you've sealed that. You know, it's a brilliant season. It could be an outstanding season if they go and get the job done.
Well, the ambition for Livingston and Aberdeen is to stay in the Premiership. For one side, it looks almost nailed on for Aberdeen, who are 1-0 up, Tony, and over the piece, worthy of that lead.
Yeah, I think so. Once the game settled a little bit, you know, Aberdeen were employing that tactic of playing in behind them. There's a lot of space in midfield, and I think the midfield three of Geiger, Aremu and Stuart Armstrong have dominated. Geiger being the most dominant player in that, and they've really controlled the game. And I just think if I'm Livingston at the moment, they need to do something. You know, I'm looking at the warm-up and I'm looking at Scott Pittman. I'm a big fan of, scored last week coming on, and I think they might need to change. Maybe they go to 2 up. The way that Aberdeen are playing, they're playing with 2 strikers and Stuart Armstrong off. They might need to deploy that tactic to give them a chance to get something out of this game, because as we said at the start, it's win or bust.
That's where it's been won and lost so far for you, Tony, in that midfield.
Absolutely, yeah. And I say they've got dominance because they've got a numerical advantage in it. They've got 3 against the 2, and they've made that count. And I think as we see, you know, get more confident as the game grows, and even the goal, you know, the goal for Mitchell Frame, it's outstanding based off the ball. Stuart Armstrong making that overlapping run, which allows him to come in. But it was just that dominance, picking up second balls in the middle of the pitch and getting into the final third, and that's why they're 1 up, and they probably should be 2, 3 up at this stage.
I think that's why Marvin's actually seen that about the middle of the park there, David, as well. He's called 3 players in: Macaulay Tate, Barry Mackay and Pittman as well. So Pittman's one that gets into the box. He's the top goal scorer in the club's history. Macaulay Tate's a bundle of energy on loan from Hearts, and Barry Mackay's got quality, so I would imagine that he's not too enamoured what's going on in that opening period, especially in the middle of the park, and he's going to try and change things. Mackay will bring width, Macaulay Tate will bring energy, and Pittman will bring energy as well for that middle of the park, so that's what Livingston certainly need.
I thought Livingston started off reasonably well, put Aberdeen under a wee bit of pressure from corners, Tony.
I think they look the biggest threat from set plays, but from open play, you know, I think Smith was a threat. Thought Stevie May was coming too deep. Newbley looked isolated up top, so I think the changes that Biscuit's talking about, I think they would really help the team. And what is a game they have to win? So for me, you go all out. It would be a good decision, I think, to make probably 3 changes. And just the whole team, then when you do that, it makes the whole team think positively about going forward. And listen, they need to score 2 goals to win this game, so I'm sure that would help them do that.
Yeah, don't go down with a whimper. Well, at least have a go.
Out with a bang, not a whimper.
That's
but Newbley had a couple of bangs there. He's had a couple of chances. One that kind of sclaff fresh air shot, and then a decent longer range effort that Mitov tipped over the bar.
Yeah, his first chance was a swing and a miss. Really, it was good play by Smith. He cuts it back, and then Newbley has a swing at it and misses it completely. Second one, move right behind, was a wonderful shot. Right foot gone in the top corner. Mitov with a great save, diving high to his left hand side, tipping it away for a corner. But that's been about it from Livingston, really. Set plays, throw-ins have been a little bit of a danger, but nothing much. Aberdeen should be out the park. When you look at the chances for Geiger, you look at the chances for Stuart Armstrong, the goal itself, you know, Aberdeen should be 2 or 3 goals ahead and this game should be done. But while it's only 1 and Marvin Bartley's got an opportunity to change the formation, change the personnel, he'll do that in the second half.
Yeah. How many changes do you think he'll make?
3.
3?
Yeah, I think he'll go. I think he has to. I think it's everything or nothing. You know, you're down tonight. I know it's not mathematically. You're 9 points with 9 available. it's not going to happen that Kilmarnock are not going to pick up, even if they don't, but goals, I just can't see it.
If Killie get a point tomorrow, that would be it.
Yeah, that's it, and that's what I'm saying. So Livy really need to try and put the pressure on Killie, score 2 in the second half, put it down to 6 points.
That's easier said than done, though, eh?
I know, that's what I think he will.
As you say, football is a game complicated by the presence of the opposition.
Yeah.
Exactly that, and you know, you're right to say as long as it stays at 1, you know, they've still got a chance to get into this game, but I just do think they need to force the issue a little bit, take a wee bit more impetus and play a wee bit further up the pitch, and you know, test it. I don't think the back three out with set plays, I don't think Aberdeen have really been tested defensively, so I think even the instance we spoke about, Newbley takes the pressure, Finlayson's got to be in, you know, as the wing back, he's got to be in a position to score a goal, and I just think in open play they've not got themselves in the areas of the pitch where they can go and effectively scoring a goal and affecting the overall the result of the match. So if they make these changes, they'll give themselves more a chance to get back into it.
Well, I thought, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I thought at the start of the game, gents, it looked as though Aberdeen's main tactic was playing the ball over the defence for Olasanya to run onto, but
that tactic can work for you, and it came about with a goal because that makes the back line at Livingston go deeper, which means there's more space in front of them, and with that advantage of an extra body, you're then picking up second balls in a good area 30 yards for their goal, and that's how they ultimately get the goal.
Yeah, and then it took complete control of the game from then on, Alan, really.
Yeah, Aberdeen have dominated. You really have. Middle of the park, Geiger's been excellent, Armstrong's getting forward, Mitchell Frayne on the left hand side. They've been very, very effective. Wonderful goal from the young man, one that he'll always remember. But no, Aberdeen, they look as if they're playing with a smile on their face, bro. I've not seen a lot of Aberdeen live this year.
Well, they're on course for a third consecutive win and a third consecutive clean sheet, Tony.
Yeah, and the way they went about that first half performance, it'll just be the message, it'll be more of the same. You know, if it continues the way it is, dominate possession at the middle of the pitch, push your wing backs on, and the most, I think they'll start the second half the same way. I think they'll try to gain that territory, be playing balls in behind and getting the Livingston defence deep.
Yeah, I'm always impressed. I saw Stuart Armstrong come on against St Mirren in the 2-0 defeat, Alan, and I'm thinking, why is Stuart Armstrong on the bench for Aberdeen? I know he's maybe not at the best of seasons, but he always brings something.
Yeah, he does, and we can see tonight, you know, even for the goal, he has a great run to take the defender out the way for allowing Frame to cut inside. He goes round Frame as if he's on the overlap waiting on the roll down the line, but Frame cuts inside and smashes it in the bottom corner. Wealth of experience, terrific player, played at the top level, English Premier League, long time for Celtic. You know, he's a real good player, Stuart Armstrong, to have in and around that Aberdeen squad when you're struggling.
Well, Aberdeen on the pitch, looks like no changes for them. Livingston just coming onto the field. I'm not sure if I can see any changes there, but I'll hand you over to Liam, the eagle-eyed match commentator.
Well, eagle-eyed Alan Preston, I think, spotted that there would be 3 Livingston alterations, and that is indeed what's going to happen, Alan.
Yeah, that's the 3 we thought that was coming on. And the first one off will be Stevie May's off as well.
Danny Wilson's
off, so it looks like they'll be going to a flat 4 then.
Pittman's on, and they've brought on Macaulay Tate as well. And the final two see Scott Arfield go off as well.
So it's a flat 4 then. Silla will sit and the rest will just bomb forward. Macaulay Tate will get forward, Pittman gets into the box. They've got to go for it. They really have.
Yeah, and Barry Mackay was the other one to come on.
I think that's a really brave substitution, and you're right, you'll know the Mo sit in front, Mo Silla sit in front, you'll have Pittman and Tate making the box to support Newbley, and 2 wide players coming in on their inside, and Mackay and Smith. It's a really, really positive change, and let's see if it works for them.
Well, Livy will kick off the second half, shooting from left to right as we watch from the back of the main stands to the right of the halfway line. In their yellow and black, Aberdeen all in navy with gold flashes. Livingston kick off, and it's a long ball forward which Milne heads clear. Silla wins the header forward towards Newbley, away by Milne again, and Aremu helps it on its way. I mentioned in the first half that 3-1 win for Aberdeen at Dens Park. They'd only scored twice away from home. Since then, it will then be no surprise to anyone that they haven't won an away game since then. 11 defeats and 1 draw. Remarkably bad away form, and Mitchell Frame's been a mess of that. Smith has it wide right of the box, back to Mackay, and Mitov has to tip it over again. Mackay's effort, he's just gone, first real touch of the ball, smashes it at goal. Mitov tips over, first minute of the second half. It stays 1-0 Aberdeen, but Marvin Bartley's changes having the desired effect already as they test the Don's keeper. The corner will be taken from this near side. Left-footed by Smith, hangs it towards the back post, headed back across the 6-yard line. Silas headers off the post. Nisbet can't keep it out, and Livingston are level right at the start of the second half. Ryan McGowan slid in to make sure after Nisbet dallied on his own goal line, and from the corner, this Premiership's bottom team draw level in a game they have to win. It is Livingston 1, Aberdeen 1.
I'm going Newbley. You've got McGowan, I'll go Newbley.
Well, we've not got a replay, so we might have to wait till full time until someone in the studio tells us what's happened there. But Livingston don't care who scored it. They've got themselves back on terms.
McGowan's been given it by the match announcer. But great changes, great start to the second half. And the worst possible start for Aberdeen.
There's been a goal early in the second half at Capello as well, Brian McLaughlin.
And it's a goal for Airdrie. 3 minutes into the second half, they now lead Morton by 1-0. Their first attack in the second period. The ball swung into the box, and it was Ewan Henderson from around 8 yards out who fired the ball high into the roof of the nets. Now Greenock Morton 0, Airdrie 1, and Ross County, as it stands now, back to bottom of the table, and Morton in the playoff position.
Yeah, Ewan Henderson scored some big goals for Airdrieonians this season. Former Hearts man. Likes a stutter penalty as well, as Ewan Henderson. Anyway, it's with Mitov for Aberdeen, who have just conceded in the opening 90 seconds of the second half. Having had those chances to go 2-0 up in the first, they've been made to pay a price already.
And there's just a real energy now about Livingston with those changes, and credit for the changes that have been made. Sometimes that just sends a message to the rest of the players, and I think the message is really clear that we're going for it. They win possession in the final third there, they force a corner and they score from it, and really the tide's turned a little bit, and we're only 2 or 3 minutes in.
Barry Mackay with a touch back to Montagno over on the far side. Just as a footnote to that championship development with Airdrieonians going ahead at Morton, County are beating Raith Rovers. County don't necessarily have to worry about Airdrie if Airdrie win that game, because they can still put Morton down in goal difference. Need another couple of goals to swing their way though, as Aberdeen come forward. Geiger's cross is dreadful, sails over the bar, and that's a goal kick to Livingston, and it stays 1-1 at Ammon Vale here in the opening few minutes of the second half.
I don't think you better know, I don't think Stevie Robinson's got a great record here as a manager.
Well, at St Mirren he didn't win at all in 90 minutes, though he did win in the Scottish Cup this season on penalties.
I was at this game,
Yeah, but he's not won in 90 minutes as St Mirren manager, and I don't recall him being here during his time at Motherwell. Obviously Livy were down the leagues.
It just shows the importance of getting that second goal. You know, the real opportunities Aberdeen to go 2 up. Now it's back to 1 each, and again in that final third you get Macaulay Tate.
Yeah, there's Tate, level with the Aberdeen 18-yard line, back out to Newbley and inside to Tate, and then back to Finlayson. Down the line for Newbley. Infield to Tate. Livingston need to score again at some point. Ball blocked there. Was it by the hand? The referee doesn't say it was, so play on. It's Smith, knocks it back to Cabangolo. And then infield to Silla, rolls it out to Finlayson on this near side. Back infield to Silla, little ding forwards, lovely there for Newbley. He's in the Aberdeen box, faced by Aremu. Covering across is Malloy, and then Morrison to clear. Malloy dinks it away on this near side. Frame beaten in the jump by Finlayson, and now it's Smith. Looks up, gets his cross in, it's put behind for the corner by Liam Morrison, and suddenly Aberdeen are panic stations.
Well, different Livingston as well at the start of the second half. All credit to the manager. Makes the 3 changes on the front foot. Nothing else but going for it.
Yeah, and there's more athleticism in there. Tate, Smith, you know, they're picking up these second balls. They're playing Newbley in, and when Newbley gets in behind you there's always that threat you pull them down, but they're definitely in the front foot now.
Smith with the corner, left foot's a good one. Mito comes in, well, I'm not sure if he got anything on it, but it's come right through to Silla, left-hand side of the box. Back to Tate, out to Silla. And Aberdeen need to waken up here. Livingston running them a bit ragged at the moment. Montagno driving down the left, Olasanya sees it behind for the goal kick, and it stays Livy 1, Aberdeen 1. We played 5.5 of the second half.
You think Stevie Robinson will just tell Mitov to calm down, take your time? They've not started Aberdeen in the second half. Livingston have come out in the early part and steamrolled them so far.
They have, yeah, and they're getting the ball into wide areas. They're playing the two wide players in Mackay and Smith, and they're getting them on it, and they're getting runs down the side by Newbley, and all of a sudden the middle of the pitch is matched up. There's not that dominance from Aberdeen, and yeah, they do look very much front foot at the moment, Livingston.
Night falling on West Lothian under the lights here. Long ball, Mitov, down the right side it goes, drops there to Montano, who clears down the left-hand side. Now it's Smith, wins the ball and slips it out to the left-hand side for Mackay. Looks up, looks to bend it into the path of Tate, cut out well by Frame though. There's Geiger for Aberdeen, he's got Olasanya ahead of him, looks for him. Olasanya driving forward, Kabengolo goes to ground hoping for the foul, which he's going to get, but I think offside was actually called first. And it's going to be a free kick, but they're going to delay just to check this, because Olasanya did go down under the challenge of Kabengolo as he bore in on goal. And we're just doing a little delay here to check to see if it was a foul and to determine if he was definitely offside first and foremost. It looks as though the check's over and it will be game on. A little nervy moment there for Brooklyn Kabengolo as it comes out to this near side Finlayson. That was a handball I think they were looking at. Anyway, it's Olasanya for Aberdeen with his back to goal, loses out to a combination of Tate and Finlayson. He comes back to McGowan. McGowan then rolls it into midfield for Silla and out to Kabengolo, who knocks it up the line for Smith, gets it round Frame. Malloy with a challenge, bounces off Smith and out for a throw-in on this near side. I think he's been excellent in recent weeks, Lewis Smith, really important player for Livingston. It may well, even if they get a result out of this, come too late, but I think he's been very positive for them.
Even in the first half, I think when the team were poor, he was a shining light, but the way he started this second half, he's a good player. He comes in on that left foot, but he's not scared to take Mitchell Frame on the outside as well. And with these systems, they're going to double up in wide areas, you know, against the wing back Mitchell Frame. They've got a 2v1 there, and they keep getting Smith on the ball. I think they get more of a chance of winning the game.
Scored that wonderful goal in Dingwall in the playoff final second leg last season. Amazing run and finish as Montano clears up to the halfway line. Armstrong tries to take it down, and Aberdeen, who dominated the midfield, are not getting a kick in that area of the pitch in the second half so far, which is 8 minutes old, and the scoreline here 1-1. Throw in on the far side for the Dons, which will be taken there over on that right side by Jensen in front of the Aberdeen supporters. Bold in field there for Nisbet, who loses out to Montano. Livingston clear into the Aberdeen half, cushion header forward by Morrison, up to the halfway line, comes off Pittman, flicked on for Aberdeen's with Geiger. Good challenging there by Pittman, recognised the dangers. Geiger tried to spring Olasanya, and now it's Lewis Smith darting forward. Lovely run from him up to the edge of the Aberdeen box. Here he goes, scuffs his effort and cleared by Morrison. We're just mentioning his goal in Dingwall last season in that playoff final. He's trying to repeat it there. Livy get it back. Mackay, square ball, Finlayson encouraged to shoot, takes a touch, drives to the edge of the Aberdeen box, and Morrison clears. Aberdeen just trying to weather the storm here. It's with Olasanya to Aremu. It's ball forward to Nisbet. First time, beautifully done into the path of Armstrong. Wide on the right and in space. Armstrong then finds the underlapping Jensen. Across it comes, it's Nisbet! It's just wide across the face of the goal. Was wide of the left-hand post as Aberdeen spring to life for the first time in the second half. It stays Livy 1, Dons 1, almost 10 into the second 45.
Yeah, the game's been up a notch, really entertaining now, end-to-end stuff, and great play by Nisbet. He switches the plane and then gets in a central area and almost scores at the back post of that. But that just shows that, you know, there's dominance there by Livingston, but there's still a real threat from Aberdeen on that counter.
Then the young boys are watching, brilliant striker play from Nisbet, knocks it wide and then bursts a gut to get in the box, try and get on the end of it. He's unlucky with a shot, goes across the keeper, does the right thing, just wide of the target. Looked a foul.
Yeah, it was by Morrison on Newbley. Free kick Livy in the centre circle in the Aberdeen half.
Yeah, I know he's a young boy, but I don't think he dominates enough in the air. I really don't. Newbley there, we can see, is all over Newbley. Newbley will just hold him off.
Yeah, and all of a sudden it's now Livingston that are picking up all these second balls. In the first half it was Aberdeen and they were mounting attacks from it, but that's what Newbley does, doesn't it? He doesn't actually win headers, he just allows it to drop in an area where you can go and pick up seconds.
in the Championship. It remains Ayr United 0, St Johnstone 1, Dunfermline 0, Arbroath 0, Morton 0, Airdrieonians 1, Partick Thistle 1, Queen's Park 0, and Raith Rovers 0, Ross County 1. But I'm just hearing that Airdrieonians have been reduced to 10 men. Lewis Strapp's been sent off against his former club. That's another twist in the tail in the Championship on its final night. It is Jensen for Aberdeen here in the Premiership. Down the line to Geiger. Aberdeen's lead wiped out at the start of the second half by Ryan McGowan after Mitchell Frame had given them a half-time lead. I'm just looking to see if McGowan's still being credited with that goal. Newplay's being credited in some places, Alan, so it could be that you're spot on with that. And it was one of the two of them. McGowan's not a great touch inside his own box. Armstrong on the turn across the face of goal. Nobody to tap home, but the flag's up anyway, and it stays Livingston 1, Aberdeen 1. And it will be a goal kick here for Livy. The guys get a chance to see a replay of the goal. I mean, Nisbet's got a chance to clear it, and he fails to do that, and Newbley was on hand to get that final touch.
I think Newbley does get that touch, you know, he slides in there, just pokes it home. But
it's his first goal on his second spell for Joel Newbley. And I think it's Montagno it's down here for Livingston, so he's going to require some attention, and the players are able to get a breather. And indeed, the change I think is going to have to be made by Marvin Bartley down below us. Christian Montagno came into the starting 11, and what was the only alteration from last week's win at St Mirren.
He's got Danzo there. Danzo can play left back.
Well, it was Fatty who came out of the team to accommodate Montagno this evening, so we can see which of the substitutes Bartley goes with, as Montagno has worked on over on that far side. This is Sports Sound and BBC Radio Scotland here this evening, covering the Premiership match here. Livingston, Aberdeen in the bottom six, poised at 1-1. To come this weekend, tomorrow there will be commentary on Sports Sound tomorrow afternoon of Kilmarnock against Dundee United, and that game is significant for both the teams we're watching here tonight, as Aberdeen look to move further away from Killie and Livingston try to get a bit closer to them. Right now the gap would go from 9 to 8 points. Livy would have 9 points left to play for. Kilmarnock of the 12 starting tomorrow. Dundee, St Mirren, Falkirk, Motherwell making up the card. Then on Sunday it's a high noon kick-off in Leith. The Hibernian host Celtic, who are 3 points adrift of the league leaders Hearts, who host Rangers, who are sitting third, and 4 adrift of the Jambos. 5:30 p.m. kick-off on Monday. An unusual kick-off time, regardless of the fact it's the May Day bank holiday, as Livingston make that change, and it is Babacar Fatty who has come on to replace the injured Montagno. This game is very finely poised. Long clearance by Prior, into the midfield it drops, and Silla rolls it to the left-hand side where Fatty's just on, plays it infield to Mackay, forward for Newbley, cut out by Morrison. Aremu losing out there. Livingston are battling like dogs down there, and they've won a free kick as well. Newbley hacked to the ground. But despite that Nisbet opportunity for Aberdeen, it's been all about Livingston since the turnaround as we approach the hour mark at 1-1.
And just what Biscuit said about young Macaulay Tate coming on the middle of the pitch here, the amount of second balls he's picking up, his endeavour in the middle of the pitch, his work rate to pick up second balls, he's been excellent, and he's transformed the game in favour of Livingston.
But we praised Geiger and Aremu in the first half. They've not been seen second half.
No, I think they're dominating the middle of the pitch.
Totally outplayed. Livingston free kick then, midway inside Aberdeen territory. Mackay and Fatty both over it. It's Mackay, dinks it into the box, headed away by Morrison, and then nodded back into the area by Tate, and Aberdeen clear to Malloy in his 18-yard line. Pittman with a header out to this near side, lumped forward up into the air there by Finlayson. Underneath it's Milne, little cushion header, it's clever to his right for Nisbet, who looks up, pings the ball forward, blocked by Mackay. Silla wins the header ahead of Aremu in the midfield. Out with Geiger, nice touch towards Armstrong. Pittman was alive to it though. Pittman has been adjudged to fouled Armstrong though. And it's a free kick to Aberdeen just outside the centre circle in the Livingston half, slightly right to centre. But you know, any kind of breather for the Dons defence is a welcome one for them right now. And you've got to remember as well, I mean, Aberdeen had those chances in the first half, but Dimitar Mitov's made 2 excellent saves tonight as well.
Yeah, he has. And, you know, but Aberdeen had the clear-cut chances. Newbley's one's, 25 yards? That's a difficult one. The 2 that Aberdeen have had with Geiger and Armstrong should have been in the back of the net.
Armstrong takes the free kick low to Geiger. First time ball into the box. It's met the right side of the area by Milne. He tries to play it back across. It's blocked though, and Livy clear. Bounces back into the Aberdeen half on the halfway line with Frame. Finds Aremu ahead of him and out to Jensen. It is swept as he comes down the right-hand side touchline. Checks his run and shifts it back to Aremu, who in turn goes back into his own half for Morrison, who switches it right to left of the circle for Malloy. Malloy looking for an option ahead of him, elects to go back to Morrison. Safe ball out to Malloy on this near side. That's a long one forward, looking for Nisbet, but it's going to bounce harmlessly through to Prior.
It's just
and
a bit of
Livy
waste.
1, Aberdeen 1.
A bit of waste me for that. Jensen's in good possession, you know, and he's in a wing-back area where he can play forward. He plays back, and the attack then peters out. I think they need to be more positive, Aberdeen. Mitchell Frame has this side. I think they need to be more positive when they're in wide areas with their wing-backs.
I just wonder how long Stephen Robinson waits before making changes. He's got Brotvites, the sub-goalie, Shinnie, Kanuster, Milanovic, Palaversa, Cameron, Lazetic, Pomono and Keskinen. Not be much of an outball for them in the second half. Looks the likes of Keskinen can provide that as Aremu moves back to Morrison, though Stephen Robinson has freely admitted that the system he uses does not suit players like Keskinen and Milanovic.
No, they're wide players that need to play probably in a 4-3-3 system, but that's 3-5-2, I think. They can only play as a striker, and it doesn't really suit either of them.
Livingston pickups a lovely turn and ball from Mackay to Fatty wide on the left. Pulls it back to Newbley, takes a touch, shoots, blocked by Morrison. Still alive, Finlayson, but Aremu beats him to it. Now it's Armstrong. Delicate chip forward to his right for Geiger. Olisanya and Nisbet desperately trying to stay onside. He slipped it to Olisanya. Nisbet's waiting in the middle. Kayosi Olisanya to the byline, pulls it back, waited way too long, and it's to set up for the corner as it's blocked. And Jack Milne's down up the other end. It will need treatment by the looks of things. It stays 1 apiece.
Sometimes you watch Olisanya and you think he's a world beater. Then you look at him and you think, has he played football before? That time there, he's got to pick his head up and roll it square to Nisbet, and he's got a tap in. He's got his head down, doesn't even know where Nisbet is, and almost runs out of play. He's lucky to get a corner.
Yeah, it's that final bit, isn't it? Because Nisbet's made a great run just in the middle. It's a tap in, he's got it, you're right there, but he just doesn't lift his head to see the pass in front of him. But a wee bit of concern here for Aberdeen. Jack Milne's went down in the middle of the penalty box. Looks like he's holding his knee. But listen, as much as the dominance is there for Livingston, there's always that counter-attacking threat and intelligence. And a great ball down the side there again by Geiger. He'll still have moments in this match that could influence the outcome.
A couple of minutes ago it was good play, but this is obviously Milne's getting seen. A great play from Barry Mackay into Newbley, and he hits the shot off, and it was a brilliant block from Morrison at the edge of the box, diving in, smashing block.
Queen's Park are level at Firhill against Partick Thistle in that one. And let's get to Capello, because Brian brought us news of the Airgionians goal, but since then there has been that development, the red card, Brian.
Yeah, midway through the second half, and it's still Morton 0, Airdrie 1, but Airdrie now down to 10 men. Lewis Trapp sent off. A real reckless challenge, you'd have to say, on Ian Wilson, and referee Nick Walsh instantly brought out the red card. So Morton have a real chance to get back into the game against 10-man Airdrie. They really have pushed for an equaliser since going behind to that Ewan Henderson goal 3 minutes into the second half. But as it stands at the moment, it's Airdrie who are going to be safe, Morton in the playoffs, and Ross County will be relegated from the championship. Still plenty of time for things to change. Morton 0, Airdrie 1.
Yeah, County still 1 up at Raith Rovers. Kieran Phillips' goal in the first half. Desperately hoping that they score another couple of goals, or Morton find an equaliser against the Diamonds. It's an enthralling end to the championship season, even if the title was done and dusted last week. It's a lengthy stoppage for Jack Milne, who is back in his feet. He's been helped off the pitch on this near side. I can't imagine they'll allow him to continue given the artificial surface, and indeed Max Kanuster is down there waiting to come on, and he will replace Milne, Aberdeen's player of the year, even though he's made just one sub-appearance since January. This tells its own story, and his first act is not to defend, chance to try and get in the end of this corner from Stuart Armstrong, which will be taken wide in the Aberdeen right. It's 1-1 at Ammon Vale. And we've played almost 66 minutes. Armstrong waits to take, outswinger with the right foot over on the far side in front of that horseshoe of Aberdeen supporters in the away section over there on the far side. The Aberdeen right as they attack the goal tower left. In from Armstrong, headed away by Pittman. More height than that than distance though. It's going to break to Olasanya wide on the right. Olasanya looking to play the ball across, cut out again. It's that quality lacking from Olasanya in the final third, and Livingston clear a long ball, but Aremu is back to help out Jensen, with Smith trying to get on the scraps there for Livy, and it comes back to Mitov, who slips it to the right there for Morrison, and then out to Alexander Jensen wide on the right. Plays it forward down the line there to Geiger, gets it back immediately, and infield to Morrison, who slips it to his left for Canuster, who's just on. And the Dutchman, who's injured on the artificial surface at Rugby Park in January, launches the long ball forward. Olasanya can't get onto it, headed away by McGowan. It's now with Malloy. Little ball up the line to Nisbet, then back to Frame. First time ball for Olasanya, but it comes right through to Prior, and it will stay Livingston 1, Aberdeen 1.
I still think Livy have got the better of it, Liam, I really do. Aberdeen have got in it slightly when in the corner. They've just stopped doing what they were doing in that opening period.
So how do you get that back? Is it simply down to Marvin Bartley's shape change?
Yeah, I certainly think the changes, but I also think that the middle of the park is just not getting a grip. They're not winning the battles anymore. Newbley's backing in, he's linking up, Pittman's facing him, Macaulay Tate's there. They're getting runners, and the Aberdeen players are just letting them run off.
I think as much as there's been a change, I think Aberdeen need a change in the middle of the pitch. I think they need a wee bit more dynamism in there, a wee bit more athleticism, because the combination of Pittman, Macaulay, Tate and Mo Silla sitting in there, they're definitely dominating the game, and whoever dominates that middle of the pitch will come out on top for me.
Livy have a free kick on this near side. Well, if Aberdeen were to lose this one and Kilmarnock win tomorrow, suddenly it's down to 5 points again. As Mackay takes the free kick into the Dons box, headed away by Canuster. It's Barry Mackay with a little nodded header out wide right of this side of the box here for Smith, taking on Geiger. He's towed it behind for a goal kick, and we can go to Capello again for another dramatic twist. Brian McLaughlin.
It's now Morton 1, Airdrie 1. Wonderful play down the right hand side by the home side. Muffet with the cross, and there was Curtis Main at the back post to bullet a header beyond Harry Stone into the back of the net. It's all changed once again at the bottom, Liam, because as it stands now, it's Ross County on 37. Greenock Morton will move back on to 39 points, and Airdrieonians on 36 points. So Airdrie will be bottom, Ross County second bottom, and Greenock Morton will be safe. As things stand, 20 minutes to go here in Greenock.
Well, the red card could make all the difference to both Morton and to Ross County. Here come Aberdeen with Nisbet, but his ball forward straight to Silla. Knocked out to Barry Mackay wide on the left as he turns it back down the line to Tate, and then to Fatty, and then to Tate again over on the touchline. It's a long ball which goes in behind Malloy, but frames there for Aberdeen to knock it back to Mitov. Controls, maybe a little bit too much juice on that for the keeper's liking, but he's eventually dealt with it and cleared it with the right foot down that far side. Olasanya will chase, as he always does. He's nicked it off Fatty, he's gone down, he's got the free kick as well. It's level with the Livingston penalty spot over on the far side. Livy 1, Aberdeen 1, as the Dons begin to waken up a little bit here going into the final 20 of the 90.
And that's what Olasanya gives you for his maybe lack of quality in that final third, picking the passes we were talking about earlier on. He'll always work defenders, and Fatty just takes too long there in the ball, and he gets a wee toe across him and he wins his team a free kick.
He's a kind of master of chaos, isn't he, Olasanya, with his running power and speed and into the channels.
He just upsets defenders and he creates opportunities like this.
Free kick Aberdeen. Armstrong over it with the right foot. And there's going to be a certain Robbie Muirhead on shortly for Livy. Armstrong stands over it then, as I say, level with the penalty spot, couple of yards from the far side touchline. They attack the Livingston box. In from Armstrong, Nisbet's header is in! Kevin Nisbet from Armstrong's free kick glances the And Aberdeen are back in front in a game they know if they win, they will pretty much guarantee their Premiership safety and move Livingston ever closer to the trapdoor. It is Livingston 1, Aberdeen 2, and it's Kevin Nisbet's 12th goal of the season.
And it's a brilliant delivery with Stuart Armstrong, that in-swinging right-footed delivery with Nisbet getting across, and Nisbet doing what he does. You know, he scores all types of goals, and his movement there as a striker, he almost scored earlier on with his good striker play, but his movement there to get across that brilliant delivery with Stuart Armstrong allows them to take the lead now. But it all comes about, as we said earlier on, with the work that Olasanya does in that wide area.
Well, there you go. And now Livingston, who were about to bring Robbie Muirhead on anyway, Alan, have to try and battle and come from behind again. And let's make no bones about it. A draw's not really much use for Livy tonight.
No chance.
They need another 2 goals.
Yeah, Muirhead's on now. Last throw of the dice for Marvin Bartlett.
Just replace Newplate, who did draw Livy level. Aberdeen, though, back in front as they look for their first away win since early December.
I think when you look at the free kick that they gave away, Livingston will be really disappointed in it. Fatty, he just goes slow on it, he jogs onto it, and Olasanya's running at full pelt and gets in front of him, and down he goes.
Well, as Tony said, that's exactly what Olasanya brings to the table. That's what he brings to the party. If there are other aspects of his game that don't bring anything to the party, that's something that certainly does. The chaos factor that drew the foul, won the free kick, that has led to Aberdeen's second goal. And they've scored 2 goals tonight, having only managed 2 away goals since they scored those 3 at Dens Park in December. And there's going to be changes on the Dons bench now as well, as we move towards the final 17 minutes of the 90 here in the first Premiership match on match day 35 in this season's Premiership. Aberdeen are going to make the change here. Geiger's going to come off. Topi Keskinen is going to come on. He's going to replace Olasanya, and I would imagine it'll be Cameron for Geiger. We wait to see.
Geiger was very good in that opening half. In 45 minutes he was great. Really good.
That's Palaversa, sorry, Alan. Palaversa is going to come on for Geiger rather than Cameron. So yeah, I mean, to be fair, Geiger has faded as the game's gone on. He has been out injured recently. Came off the bench. He made his return against Kelly last weekend. And he goes off, as does Olasanya. And on come Keskinen and Palaversa, 2 relics from the Telleen era.
I think going back to that goal, the ball in from Armstrong's really good, but I would imagine that it actually looks like an own goal off Mo Salah.
It's an own goal, yeah, it's an own goal.
It's ahead of
Finlayson? Is it Finlayson that comes off?
Is it Finlayson, is it? But flicked on by Nisbet, and I think it has hit Finlayson and gone to the back of the net.
Yeah, Finlayson's been credited in the ledger with an own goal there.
And that'd be the replay of it. I'd be disappointed, Marvin, in that, because they're a big side, Livingston. They shouldn't be conceding goals from set plays, really. The size of them compared. It's not as if Nisbet's a giant. He just makes a really clever run across the front post. I think it's McGowan that's with him to start with. Possibly Cobangolo as well at that near, or Sailor, sorry, at that near post, and he gets in front of the 2 of them.
It is with Knooster. The ball at his feet inside his own box, launches it forward long with the left foot into the Livy half. McGowan wins the header, comes off Aremu, and Morrison fires it forward. Keskinen gives chase. Finlayson's there to turn it back to Prior, who clears with Keskinen rampaging towards him. Palaversa wins the header, and now it's with Mitchell Frame on this near side. Back it goes to Malloy, challenged by Smith. Out of play, goes for a Livy throw. Smith's tenacity draws the throw in for the home team. Have to try and find 2 goals in the final, what now, 14 minutes that are left of the 90 here. Pittman manages to get it to Smith. Calmly rolls it to his left for Macaulay Tate. He's in the Aberdeen box. Little ball back, cleared by Armstrong. It's only half away. Fatty takes a touch and shoots. It's blocked by Palaversa. Breaks to Kevin Nisbet. Looks to flick it through to Palaversa, who's not got the legs to get back onto that. And it's Fatty turning it back to Prior. So in the Championship, Ayr United nil, St Johnstone 1. Goalless Dunfermline Arbroath in the first of 3 meetings between them in the course of the next 7 days ahead of their playoff quarter-finals. As it stands, Arbroath will be at home in the second leg. Morton 1, 10-man Airdrieonians 1. That, along with the other scorelines, in fact, I am just about to say that, Raith Rovers have just levelled against Ross County. That's remarkable. That is twisting and turning left, right and centre, and suddenly it's Ross County back in the relegation position.
And how's the goal difference at there, down the bottom, between them and Airdrie?
County are minus 20, Airdrie are minus 14.
So even if Airdrie lose and it stays 1-1, Ross County
Airdrie County go down in goal difference, yeah. And Morton safe as it stands. Raith Rovers are level. That is a sickener for Ross County if they don't win that game now, given what's happened with Airdrie, given it's 1-1 at Capello and Airdrie are down to 10 men, having led that game. What a sickener. Back-to-back relegations staring County in the face. Livingston come forward, lovely ball in from the left, is deflected behind by Frame for a Livingston corner. It remains 1-1 here in the Premiership.
They're not out yet, Livingston. Still throwing men forward.
They're not giving it up. Fatty making a good run forward for that left back here. I just think they needed more bodies in the box for the ball across, but they forced a corner, and again an opportunity to score with that height advantage, although Canister's made it a wee bit more balanced in there.
In comes the corner then from Smith. Mitov commits himself and punches it away with both fists. And it's broken kindly for Jensen over on the right side. And he's trying to take it round Tate. He reacts well and wins the free kick. It's a clumsy challenge there by the Danish Aberdeen right back.
Stephen Robinson's fuming, and rightly so. Why does he just not belt it into the other half?
It's now back with Mackay. Now Pittman. Back to Mackay to his left. He's midway inside the Aberdeen half. He clips the ball in with the left foot. Headed back the way. Chance for Silla. Wouldn't settle for him. Cleared. It's only as far away. Oh! Who scores a wonderful goal? More than 20 yards out. It is classic Robbie Muirhead. And the substitute sizzles that one past Dimitar Mitov into the top left corner. And Livingston are level again. Livy 2, Aberdeen 2.
I think him and Nisbet are the only two on the pitch that could have done that. I've seen Muirhead score some goals in his career, and that's certainly up there. Just out his feet, and he just bends it in that far top corner, giving the keeper absolutely no chance. What a finish. Game on.
And you see Stephen Robinson outside his technical area there, absolutely raging with it. You addressed it earlier on, Biscuits. I don't know why the ball's just not cleared. I think it's Jensen in there.
Yeah, it's Jensen.
Madness, absolute madness. You know, he's got a player up the line, it's 1v1. He's in the right back area. He's got a chance to smash it over the top, down the line, into the Livingston half, take the pressure off. What does he do? Tries to be smart, tries to take his man on, then concedes a free kick and Livingston score an equaliser.
Yeah, and he's giving it away again. Suddenly Barry Mackay's driving forward. Now it's Muirhead. He's in the Aberdeen boys on the left foot. Goes for goal again. He's wide this time though. It flies by a good few feet past that left-hand post, and it will stay at 2-2 with 11 of the 90 to play in Ammanvale. As Raith Rovers go 2-1 up on Ross County at Starks Park, and surely that's County doomed to League One.
Double bounce down the way.
Yeah, and an absolute nightmare for football in the Highlands, as well as Callie Thistle tried to get back up to the Championship. They could do that tomorrow. It's so tight between they and Steny going into the final match day.
Oh, that's a bad tackle.
Challenge, yeah, and the ref's right behind it from Muirhead. He's allowing Aberdeen to play on just now. It's Keskinen wide in the left, gets it across, and it's cut out well by Pittman. Breaks back to Keskinen. It was Muirhead on Malloy. That'll be getting revisited. Keskinen still has it for Aberdeen. Infield to Aremu. Back out wide left for Palaversa on his right side. Crosses in way too deep for Nisbet. Sails behind for the goal kick.
I think it was Finlayson that puts in a tackle, but I'm sure that I think they're going to look at this because it looked
He's got to at least book up.
dangerous. Just a booking.
Yeah.
Just a booking. But back to Robbie Muirhead's finish here. What an ounce! It's something that he does. He's done throughout his career, as you say, Bishop. But he's, you know, the precision to get that in the top corner for there is just outstanding.
And the celebration, it's as if he doesn't. Well, no doubt disappointed to be as a substitute, but you could see he just walks back.
Aye.
This is what I do, you know.
I think that was more to him being a sub. But when he gets on, he's affected the game. That's what you want your substitutes to do, and it's what Livingston have done all night. The ones that come on at half-time, they affected the game. They bring on another substitute, it affects the game. And they'll be hoping now that they can get that next goal.
Aberdeen trying to win it back in midfield. They've lost out through Palaversa. It's Finlayson now. It's with Smith. Digs it out wide left for Fatty, who's in space. Driving forward. Deep into the Aberdeen half. Looks up to a long ball into the penalty area. Comes off Malloy's head. He's flicked it out to the right side of his area. Malloy finds Morrison. And Jensen completes the clearance. Fatty for Livingston though. Infield for Pittman, and rolls it back into the centre circle. Cabangolo. Finlayson out to Smith, wide on this near side, faced by Mitchell Frame. Smith in field, now it's with Pittman. Back out wide left it goes to Fatty. Infield for Mackay. We're heading towards the final 8 minutes here. The ball in the box is headed clear by Aberdeen. Silla with the cushion header for Mackay. Thing is, Livingston need another goal. They need another goal.
But they're going for it, you can see that. Pittman's been given a licence to join in.
Oh, it's a poor ball out of defence though. Frame couldn't work it into Keskinen, and Livy have it back in double quick time. They just had a little bit more than Aberdeen in the second half. It's 2-2 here. Mackay out wide left. Fatty's ball across, cut out by Jensen and out for a Livingston throw-in. Level with the Dons penalty spot on the Livingston left.
It's a different team, this Livingston, in the second half, isn't it? And Tate, McCall Tate's been excellent.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Good player,
really
good, good industry. But you see that there, his cross-field pass, you know, a 40-yard switch of play. Good young player, I think.
And here's the throw in, the human sling. Muirhead throws it right in the box.
What a goal it was from Robbie Muirhead to square this one again. He's trying to be the set-up man here. Long throw in into the Aberdeen box. Finlayson wins the header, but he can only head it harmlessly wide. Goal kick to Aberdeen. So just a reminder about what's going on in the Championship and that Raith County match continuing live on the BBC Scotland TV channel tonight. Raith Rovers have come from behind to lead County by 2-1. Morton won, 10-man Airdrieonians won. In the other game at the bottom of the table there, Dunfermline and Arbroath are goalless. Just heading to playoffs there as Elvis Plomono comes on for Mitchell Frame, and the other change for Aberdeen, we'll see Nicholas Milanovic come on. And who did he come?
Jensen.
It's Jensen.
I think he'll get an earful as well.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I'm Stevie Robinson, you're in about him.
Yeah.
Not acceptable what he does.
I think there's a change of shape here as well. Looks like Aberdeen went to 4-3-3. Probably just a match
up.
The
two wingers there with Milanovic, Keskinen either side of Nisbet. So Championship as it stands, Morton are safe. Airdrieonians are going into the playoff, and Ross County are going right down to League One. Header there in the midfield. As Aremu forward to Nisbet, won back well by Silla. Oh, lovely close control by Mo Silla, who dinks it down this near side. It's going to go out for an Aberdeen throw-in. Though, it comes to nothing for Livy. Just over 6 minutes to the 90 to play. The scores level at 2-2. Gavin Malloy over the throw on this near side. As it stands, Aberdeen will go 9 points clear of Kilmarnock, having played a game more, as they try and avoid 11th. A little nutmeg. Lewis Smith away from Malloy, driving down the right side. His cross takes a deflection, comes into the box, and it bounces through to Mitov, who holds on.
I think if he takes it another 5 yards forward towards the byline, it allows more players to get in the box for that cutback or across the front of them. He's elected to put it in early, and it comes to nothing.
Don't be too anxious to hurry. That's what it was that time. Great ball,
lovely ball in behind there for Milanovic. Milanovic has got support. He uses Keskinen as the decoy and shoots wide with the left foot. That looked like a much better opening than Aberdeen made it look, though. In the end, as Milanovic still waits for his first Aberdeen goal, drags the shot well wide as he used Keskinen as the decoy. It stays 2-2.
Lovely from Nisbet, really was. What a first time pass. Sees the run, expertly weighted into his path. Eventually gets a shot. First touch was poor, gets a shot off. Here go Livy again.
Yeah, it's Barry Mackay. They know what they need. They're coming forward in search of it. It's Mackay on this near side, dinks it in behind Malloy. It's Muirhead. Malloy was in dangerous territory there, could have made the challenge and committed the foul in the box. Instead, Aberdeen won it back, and it's cleared, and it's Armstrong to Aremu. Long ball in this bit gives chase. Kabangolo covering across well. Launches it up high into the air across the halfway line, where it will drop to Smith. Little flick over his head looking for Muirhead. Canooster's there. Goes back to Mitov. Mitov under pressure from Muirhead, clears. Milanovic chests it into the path of Palaversa, then turns it to Armstrong. Across the halfway line, it's going from one end to the other right now.
It's a good
Armstrong
game,
out to Keskinen, driving down the left side. Low ball across, no takers. Milanovic couldn't get onto it. Pomono picks up wide in the right. Clever chip ball back across. Livingston can't clear as it sails out of the area on the left-hand side with Keskinen. Uses Malloy, can't find him. And it's cleared by Livy. Canooster's onto it on the near side. Reverses it forward to Malloy. Little back heel for Keskinen, who jumps over both the ball and the defender. And Livy have it back with Finlayson, who finds Pittman.
Brave as a lion there, Keskinen.
The Lion and the Wizard of Oz.
I think he's hoping his leap is going to deceive Finlayson and he was going to stop his attempt to play the ball, and he would have been in.
Really good game.
It didn't work out that way.
Both teams really going for it now, and effectively both teams are playing with an attacking five, and both those counter attacks, changes of play. Nobody's settling for a draw here.
Livy can't afford to. It's as simple as that. They've just got to throw caution to the wind. Go and shove Kabangolo up front. Big lad. Cause mayhem. Ryan McGowan, someone just get yourself up there, try and become the hero of the night.
We are on 87 minutes. Livingston 2, Aberdeen 2. Has to be a better result for the visitors right now. If it ends up being a point, it's a point further away from 11th. Kilmarnock could reduce that tomorrow as the free kick from Mackay comes into the Aberdeen box, headed away by Malloy. Livingston need another goal if the great escape's going to be a thing. And it's Smith wide in the right, runs into Milanovic, who then goes to ground and wins the free kick, and it's in the soft category. Milanovic and Aberdeen aren't complaining. Free kick Aberdeen deep inside their own half, with the scores level at 2 apiece. It is Armstrong playing it infield to Aremu. So about to go into 88 minutes. As it stands, there will be a minimum of 6 added on at the end of this. So we're far from done. There's still 8 minutes to go. As Palaversa plays it out to Keskinen wide on the left. He's going to attack Finlayson. Going down the left-hand side. On the outside, his cross is atrocious. The left foot just sails over the bar, and Livingston have a goal kick. Marvin Bartley's out at the edge of his technical area. Neil Hastings there as well, as they try cajole their team towards turning 1 point into 3. And then, you know, Kilmarnock potentially, if Livingston can find another goal, could potentially give Kilmarnock the jitters. They're already trying to battle as they get away from 11th. They're not alone, having to look over their shoulder at this point as well. Might start doing that if Livingston find a winner. But it is Aberdeen on the attack. Armstrong back to Palaversa, wide in the left, level with 18-yard line for Keskinen. Gets his cross into the box, headed away by Fatty. And helped on its way by Smith. He was pushed by Gavin Malloy, and Livingston have a free kick midway inside their own half. 2-2. Livingston are committing more forward with every passing minute, every passing attacking phase and play. There are more in yellow and black going forward here.
Oh,
yeah, Kabangolo take a chance against Keskinen there, where he's gone back to Prior. Last minute change of plan. Long ball. Finlayson heads on. Muirhead's after it. He's got Pittman in field. Muirhead twists back onto his right side. He's found Smith. Lays it back to the edge of the box for Mackay. Back to Muirhead. His shot blocked brilliantly by Canooster. He was trying to repeat the trick there.
I think he's on the ground and it hits his hand, so it won't be a penalty because he'll be using his arm to keep himself up a little bit. Oh,
yes, Aremu and Tate collide. Tate's going to be booked for it. Free kick Aberdeen in the centre circle. Just having a little look at that as well of the VAR team. And yellow card was administered to Tate.
It's fell to the right man there. Muirhead just coming onto his left foot. You'll just expect him just to do the exact same as he did with the goal there. But it's a great block, to be fair to Aberdeen.
Goals from Cameron and Jack Hamilton overturning that match for Raith Rovers, who lead Ross County 2-1 as the 6 minutes of stoppages are confirmed down below us. We're into the first of them. 2-2 here. As it stands, County going down, and they will go down. They're in stoppage time in Kirkcaldy. They need to score twice. It's all over at Capello. It's finished Morton 1, 10-man Airdrie 1 as Aberdeen come forward. Free kick floated into the box and cleared by Livy. Armstrong picks up in the centre circle for the Dons. It's been better from them the last few minutes, but Armstrong's ball forward's really poor, straight to Pittman. Now Mackay knocks it forward towards Muirhead. Pomono's the covering player. Muirhead slides in, makes the challenge, wins the ball, and it comes, oh no, the ref's changed his mind there. Free kick Aberdeen, just outside their own box. Stays 2-2.
I don't think Mackay has to play that right away. He can advance 10 yards and he's opening it up a little bit, but he elects to go first time, and Muirhead just can't get there.
Just don't think he has a look around about him, sees what he's got. He's in acres of space. You're right, he could have driven with the ball another 10 yards, then made a choice to pass.
Yeah.
So all over at Capello, Airdrieonians will be going into the playoff, and it will be either Cali Thistle or Stenhousemuir, along with Alloa and Queen of the South, who will make up the Championship playoff 4. As League 1, League 2 draws to a conclusion tomorrow. Aberdeen on the ball here, given away again though. It's not been a really good second half performance by the Dons, having been in absolute cruise control
play on
in the first half. Honestly. A minute and a half, almost 2 minutes of the 6 that were added have come and gone. Livingston won a free kick, but as you can hear in the background, the guys feel there should have been an advantage given to Livy there.
Yeah, he's too anxious to blow his whistle. If he just pauses, he can still go back to it a second or two later. Livingston are away on the other side of the pitch.
You're spot on, they've got a great attack, and they've actually got a man overload there running into that final third, and he's stopped to play and pulled it back. Poor decision. 4
minutes left. Prior comes all the way up to the halfway line to take the free kick, lifts it towards the Aberdeen box, when it breaks out to Pomono on the far side. He's brought to the ground by Kabangolo, and that's a free kick to Aberdeen, right side of their penalty area. The Dons, they've been ahead twice, Tony, but do they settle for a point? I mean, they'll want to try and win the game between now and then, but yeah, if it ends up being a point, will they be too disappointed?
I think that change signified it as well. When they went to a 4-3-3 to match up, I think they'll be happy taking the point in the context of the game, but there's still a wee bit to go. I know the time's running out here, but you've still got Livingston pressing for that really essential goal to give them a chance to pull in Kilmarnock.
Yeah, just over 3 minutes left at 2-2.
Livy are better losing the game 3-2 and having a go. Start chucking men up. Cobham-Golo, get up. McGowan, get up. Just get up that part.
Oh, Malloy, high boot there, and Smith's going to result in a Livingston free kick in an attacking position on the cusp of the final third here. Wide on the right, and a chance to load the box.
I'd get everyone. Honestly, I'd get Prior up as well. Everybody up.
They need to score.
It's your last chance to score a goal for survival.
See, Stephen Robinson is furious about something down there. He's made it up to the halfway line as he tries to organise his defence. Barry Mackay stands over this free kick for Livy.
Craig Hinchcliffe out as well there. He organised the set plays against him. They weren't organised. They didn't have a man in the front space there, but they've corrected it now.
Mackay will take Livingston into the box. It comes. Can they find a winner? There is a header. It's well wide. It's bounced off Finlayson, who's claiming corner. It's going to go behind harmlessly for the goal kick, and it will stay Livy 2, Aberdeen 2, and we played 4 just about of the 6 minutes. As Mitov took the goal kick quickly, the ref wasn't ready.
What's he doing?
He's wanting the goal kick retaken for whatever reason. Not sure why he wasn't ready. I mean, you see teams, as soon as the ball's returned by the ball boy, the ball girl, they're getting the game back underway immediately.
I don't get that.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, I know.
The assistant on this side didn't flag either.
He's made a few strange decisions of late, but yeah, take the marbles out of your mouth, Liam.
I know, I have. It's okay. I've only got another minute to do, so we're all right. 2-2 remains. Aberdeen clearing their lines into the midfield. It goes for Pittman, plays it infield. Canuster there. It's the challenge, as does Malloy. Livingston have it again. Kabangolo lifts it high out to this near side for Finlayson. Knocks it back to Smith. It's a poor switch. It's gone straight to Milanovic. He'll now drive forward potentially for Aberdeen. Halted by Tate. Goes long, looking for Keskinen and finds him. Keskinen has it nicked off him all too easily there It's going to be a foul by Topi Keskinen and Smith, and it will be a yellow card for the Finn. I mean, an absolute hash of that. Free kick Livingston, just inside their own half. We are in the final minute of stoppage time.
Such a big reputation, Keskinen as well, but he's flat to deceive. They're holding a high line here, Aberdeen.
Well, this might be now or never for Livingston. Point not really enough for them. Prior takes, left-footed, out to the far side, cleared by Aberdeen though through Malloy, only as far as Mackay. Long ball back in the box, he's overhit it as Alan says, it sails behind for the goal kick, and it stays Livy 2, Aberdeen 2. Well, there's only 20 seconds to go. Ross County have equalised against Wraith Rovers, but that's not going to be enough for them to try and save themselves from the ignominy of back-to-back relegations. Against Airdrieonians, they're a point behind as it stands. The final whistle will be going, as it will be going here any second now. Indeed, there it goes, all over. An excellent second half showing from Livingston. Means they don't finish this game empty-handed. But a point's not really enough for them, even if this does get them back to within 8 of Kilmarnock. The problem they've got is if Killie beat Dundee United tomorrow now, they will be going right back down to the Championship. After just the one season back, I think Wraith Rovers have just gone 3-2 up on County with a last-minute penalty, so County are definitely going down to League One. My goodness, how the mighty have fallen there in Rossshire. Down to League One for next season. Livingston not quite relegated yet, but it looks as though the axe will fall on them tomorrow if Kilmarnock can defeat Dundee United. But they showed plenty of resilience this evening, twice coming from behind against Aberdeen, who led through Mitchell Frame's first senior goal. And the Dons were in cruise control. Geiger and Armstrong failing to beat Prior when one-on-one with the goalkeeper to potentially put the game beyond the Lions. Marvin Bartley made the triple change at the interval, and it had the desired effect as Livy found an equaliser. Joel Newbley bundling home to make it 1-1 after he'd tested Dimitar Mitov in the first half. Mitov made another couple of saves in the game, but Aberdeen restored the lead. It was a Finlayson OG from an Armstrong free kick after Nisbet won the initial header. It was an own goal. Aberdeen were 2-1 up, but Livingston found the wherewithal and the pick of the bunch as far as the goals are concerned. Not long on the pitch, Robbie Muirhead as a substitute sent a thundering effort into the top left corner from outside the box. It was outstanding finishing from Muirhead, who's capable of the spectacular, and he showed it on that occasion. And to be fair, given the chances at both ends, given Aberdeen dominated the first, Livingston bossed plenty of the second, a draw is probably the fair result. It moves Aberdeen a point further away from the 11th place and Kilmarnock. There's now 9 between them, though the Dons have played a game more. For Livy, well, they're going to have to hope that Dundee United do them a favour and then they can take this fight to next weekend. But it's looking even bleaker for them at full time, even if there was plenty spirit in the performance here again tonight. Their renaissance in season 25-26 has just come too late. It finished here at Ammon Vale on a dramatic night of football across the country in the Championship, and here in the Premiership it finished Livingston 2, Aberdeen 2.
This